thank Richie Thayer from Thayer's Marine for keeping me and Travis on the water. You know, when you're fishing on the Great Lakes, you're dealing with wind, waves, and opportunities for disaster. But when you buy a boat from Richie Thayer, you're on the water for every tournament, buddy.
There you go. Okay. Yeah.
Travis, you fish. Oh, Travis doesn't need any help. Travis doesn't need any help. Travis.
So Katsu number 5. So we're doing a little burn and stop technique. Big time burn and stop, and they're hitting.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Big JP. And this week on Smallmouth Crush Live, what a show we got for you. Man, our co-host, Easy E Epic Eric, teamed up with his boy Scooter all the way down on Smith Mountain Lake on Saturday. And then they shot over to Kerr Lake on Sunday. And I'll tell you what, one was a bomb, but one dropped bombs, baby. We got a win in the house and a big announcement from me, Big JP. Welcome to this week's episode of Smallmouth Crush. Oh, yeah.
Man, we got the new intro from Travis. What an opening from Big JP. Holy moly, man.
Travis, so that was JP intros. Playing the piano to the Edmund Fitzgerald at the end. No. I'll teach you two. You gonna give me copyright strikes? I'm gonna find a piano version of that.
That was fantastic,
man.
Great new intro, bro.
Sweet.
I love it, man. It's truly the mishmash flavor of this show, man.
Yeah,
it really is. It's meandering. It's just, I was caught up in it. I got a little emotional there for a second, man. Especially when that piano part came in, you know, because that song and how it bonds us, you know, our past lives together.
It took Travis like 3 weeks of teaching me that over a Zoom call in my basement on my wife's little digital recorder thing, but I got
it. Fantastic, man.
All right, guys, we got a great show, great but short show tonight.
That's right.
We got a special guest joining us shortly, but I wanted to bring JP on. And hold on, we got we got to bring JP down the bottom. There we go.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
You guys know my co-host Epic Eric. My name is Travis Manson, and this is one of the best live stream fishing shows in this reality. What's new at the Bass Lab, Epic
Holy
Eric?
moly, man. What's new at the Bass Lab, man? I'm restocking some good stuff, man, coming in. Maybe got one new thing in the works. Epic Shads are about to get painted, man. So if anybody missed out on the last drop of Epic Shads, that's the big flat side balsa crankbait, and you've got a color you want it painted, you let me know, man. Because TK Stanley's about to fire up that airbrush down in Alabama, Mobile, and get her done, man. Yeah, man, pretty cool, man. What a weekend. Wow, dude. Just an unbelievable turn of events. Like, Travis, I got to Smith Mountain Lake first. Walk down the hill of the trailer we're staying at, right? We got a free day of practice. I want to just go all in on the big bait. So I take a 10-inch glide bait made by Keith Thomas at Black Talon Glides. It's his donk version, and it's a very washed out cold water gizzard shad pattern. I make the first cast beyond the floating dock where we're staying. I'm standing up about 10 feet off the bank It's a riprap bank. So I cast beyond the dock, start my retrieve. I hit the corner of the dock, slide, I make a hard turn with the reel, half turn, and the glide jets under the dock of the corner of the dock. I come out, nothing there. I thought I was going to get smashed.
No.
About midway down the dock, I see a giant shadow below the bait. And then I see another shadow and then a third shadow. I have a 7 to 8 pounder, a 4 pounder, and a 3 pounder. The 3 nips at it. I do 2 quick turns. The bait moves. The 7 or 8 is about to like really smash it. And I pull the bait out of the water. None of those fish would leave. It was unbelievable. So I think we're going to wail on them on the big baits on Saturday. I go all in on the big baits on Saturday. Cold front comes in. Doesn't happen. But I will tell you this. I caught my first bass, live active targeting on a jig head minnow. Scooter's off a point. This is on practice day. Little wind was kicking up, man. He sees some fish. He goes, they're out there 60 feet. He says, I make a blind cast. I think I hit it. I don't know. Don't see my bait. I start shaking it, slow retrieve, shaking the rod tip, slow retrieve. And I'm using Gussie's little pearl white albino Z-Man, the scented jerk shad with a 1/8 ounce owner sliding head with an owner hook. Feel the line go tight, 3-pound smallmouth. It could be that easy. And then didn't catch another one out the rest of the day. That's what's good at the Bass Lab, man.
There you go.
And then I'll wait for the rest of the story with Scooter.
Congratulations on you.
Let me just say that Big JP and Little JP received the box in the mail from the Bass Lab earlier.
Whoa, that's
I gotta
right,
tell
bro.
you guys something. You want to talk about epic packaging? This box, I open up my mailbox. There's this beautiful white box in there, and it says to Big JP and Little JP from the Bass Lab, right? So I'm like, oh man, I'm all excited. I go walking down the driveway. It's 65 degrees and sunny. My wife's sitting outside in a sundress in a chair, right? And I go, look at this cool box that Epic Eric sent me. So I was like, film this while I open it, right? So I'm opening the box, and she's like, whoa, hold on. There's a cool emblem on the bottom of the box. I flip the box over, and in typical Epic Eric fashion, I got the green Bass Lab logo on the bottom of my box. Man,
where is it? Where is it?
Hold on a second. It's your son.
Travis, you want a box too? What is that?
Dude, it's right here, boys. We have got the Epic Eric Bass Labs embroidered. It's not even a sticker. It's embroidered on the box. It is freaking gorgeous, right?
So did
Big JP Pelletier from Epic Eric at the Bass Lab. Travis, I know you really don't care, but I want to share this with everybody for a second.
Thanks, man.
I got the letter, the handwritten letter, man. Yo, Big JP and Lil JP, I sauced it up for you. Enjoy. Epic E, right? And then I got all these goodies in here. I ain't showing all these goodies off, right? But it was an awesome thing to come home to on a Thursday afternoon, man. It was definitely cool.
You know what? I'm feeling inspired by that, man. Let's do a giveaway tonight from the Bass Lab, Travis. I'm going to put together a custom Bass Lab box for one of the lucky viewers tonight in honor of our win. I'm feeling generous, JP. I had forgotten I'd sent that box to you, man. You shared the video with me. It's awesome. Travis, you're going to pick the winner. All the people that are watching, smash the like button, share the video, and I'm just going to put something special from the Bass Lab, including maybe some things you could use this spring. Let's go.
Man,
let's go.
Epic Eric feeling generous on a Monday night. Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's right. I want to pay it forward, man. The viewers have been good, man. I like it, man. I like it. I like it. That's right. That's right. All right. There you go. Thanks, Trav. What's new with you, bro? That was a great intro.
Thank you. I had a little bit of time today and kind of threw something together quick. I'd like to talk about the here in New York, it's called the DEC, kind of like a DNR.
Yeah.
I went to the DEC meeting last week, Wednesday, to talk about the black bass populations on the St. Lawrence River.
Black bass, like you're talking about largemouth
and smallmouth. Black bass, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know they were. I didn't know they were grouped in. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Wow.
So we went there. There was an auditorium. There was about, I would say, 40 people there. There was probably 6 to 8 DEC workers, some biologists, some crazy chick, and some news reporters. And wow, Mark's in the comments already talking a little bit about that. I just noticed. So I'll give you the quick rundown. So they went through a little speech about how they're wondering if there should be some changes. So if you guys do not know, up here on the St. Lawrence River, Lake Ontario, we have a closed season on the U.S. side that closes November 30th and does not reopen until the third week in June. So basically 6+ months out of the year, we're not allowed to even cast or target a largemouth or smallmouth bass.
Wow.
So they went through these creel studies and how they net fish. You know, who knows where these nets are set up? It's just a bunch of science, right? All they're doing is talking science. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty fed up about science because all science is propaganda to get your point or your argument or your facts out to the public. That's all science is. Okay? Bill Nye's a fraud. He's not even a scientist. He's an actor.
Oh, we're
Neil
going
deGrasse
off the
Tyson.
rails.
He's also a paid actor. All these chumps out there are paid actors. So out of the 500,
we're going to learn something tonight about real bass stuff, but you just went off the rails hard, dude. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened? Are we going to open the season? Is that hopefully what happened?
All right. So we tried to they talked about different population studies, how the smallmouth are doing. In this group of people that were at this meeting, there was tournament anglers, there was just bass fishing enthusiasts, there was people that love nature and, you know, like their peaceful shoreline and dock, and they're just happy being part of the community. Then you have your charter boat guys. So up here on the St. Lawrence River, you have two different businesses. You have a charter boat business.
Yes.
And then you have your fishing guides. A fishing guide.
And then you got your recreational anglers, right? You got those three things.
And recreational anglers. Yeah. I'm talking about the people that use this river as a profession. You have charter boat and you have guides. Fair. There's a handful of guides. There's 5 or 6 of us. There's 3 or 4 that are full-time. Okay.
Right. Fair.
Those guides take out people and put them on fish, and everyone has a good day. Normally in a bass boat or a walleye boat. Okay.
Yep.
Your charter boats are going to have a bigger vessel. It's going to be a bigger boat that you would typically see trolling for, say, salmon, trout, walleye, stuff like that.
Yep.
But in between times and to fill gaps, they'll go out there with live bait and catch smallmouth. And a lot of these charters also offer something called a shore lunch. So they're going to keep their smallmouth and then cook them up for their clients. And most of the smallmouth caught, regardless of what these charters claim and say, just based on their Facebook and their websites.
Yep.
There's always smallmouth on their meat hooks, and they're not 12 to 14-inch smallmouth either. Okay.
There's some big ones. Okay.
There's some big ones on them meat hooks. And that's been going on for 30, 40, 50, 80 years. Okay.
And the population is still fantastic, right? I mean, it's not even.
You know what? A lot of people are complaining. So here's what's going on.
Me
These
complaining
smallmouth
about
move around. Every year is different.
Okay.
Every year is different. Okay.
Yep.
1 year you're going to have a cold spring. 1 year you're going to have a warm spring. 1 year you're going to have a lot of rain. 1 year you're going to have a lot of wind. Okay.
Sure.
Every year is different. You have to stay on top of fish, and you actually have to be able to, really understand fish behavior. And to be honest with you, there isn't a lot of people that can target bass on a regular basis and produce the quality and quantity of fish that some guys can. Okay. If you're new, look at me. I'm new to the Great Lakes when it comes to brown trout trolling, and I'm struggling to catch a brown trout. But I'm sure the guy that's been doing it for 30 years has things dialed in. So fishing isn't that easy always.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these studies show anglers struggling and guys not being able to catch fish. And we hear a lot in this meeting of charter boat guys complaining that the fish are no longer where they used to be. Well, after 20 years of going to the same ledge and dropping live bait and pulling 5 and 6 pound smallmouth and put them in the cooler, things are going to change. I did hear comments about forward-facing sonar. I heard a lot of the charter guys bitching about that. That's one side story.
wow.
That's one of my favorite pastimes is when I get out there and go search out them charter boats on the ledge. I like to weave in and out in between them, spotlighting my fish and putting them in the boat in front of all their clients, right?
Oh, that's hilarious.
So
that's great.
anyways,
Interesting.
there
Do
was some
you
guys
think-
from bass. There was some guys
go
from
ahead.
bass clubs, and they stood
Okay.
up and kind of gave their spiel on how they're cutting back from 5 fish in a live well to 4.
Interesting.
And that's great. You know, obviously a bass club is going to take the initiative to try to show the public by displaying certain rules that maybe they're helping the situation. I say screw that, bass club guys. This is just my opinion. Stand up for yourself. Realize it's 5 lousy bass a person, okay? Tournament guys and hardcore bass anglers do not keep smallmouth bass that I know of. I don't know a single person that I call a friend or a buddy that keeps bass. And I said this during the meeting. So
unless they kill them and then they donate them or somebody takes them home and eats them, right? You know,
Sure.
if it gets gut hooked or
So we
they
talked a
don't-
lot. So there was a lot of
Yeah,
talk
they don't
about
quiz 'em.
tournaments for one,
Yep.
and the pressure. And okay, so I'm just giving you. So they asked questions at the end. The questions last about hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Yep.
I was the first one to raise my hand, but the second person to get the mic. So they give me the mic. Right now, it's my time to shine, and it
Oh
was
my
real
God.
simple. I simply asked a couple simple questions. I asked number one,
All right. Yeah.
if the reason for having a closed season is to protect these fish during the spawn, why are we
Sure.
closed on November 30th?
Very good
and
question.
doesn't open until the 3rd week in June. Are these
Very
smallmouth
good question.
spawning in November, December, January,
No.
February, March, April? No,
No.
they're not. I said this is just weird. Okay. I said it's just weird. I said it's very weird, very odd, and very frustrating.
Yeah. No,
And
great
then
question.
some old guy, charter guy, mumbles, you know, hey, are you catching fish? Them smallmouth, you ice fishing for them? You know what I mean? And they don't understand it. I mean, you can easily fish in an open boat until January out here and catch
Okay.
smallmouth. And you can easily
Interesting.
put a boat in February and catch smallmouth. So we got
Sure.
February, March, and April.
Yep.
Okay. So that was a whole talk about shutting things down, blah, blah, blah. Or the reason for the closed season. And then there was more comments and again, fishing tournament pressure came up. And so then I had to raise my hand again. So I go, listen, there's 3 major tournaments on this body of water.
Yep.
Okay. There's an elite series with 100 professionals. There's an MLF with 100 professionals, and you have an open with maybe 200 guys.
Yep.
Okay. 3 events all summer long. I don't think that's a lot of pressure. I said, go down to Lake Guntersville just for the weekend,
yeah.
just for fun. Go to
Sure.
OHIV, go to Falcon, go to Amistad, go to
Whatever. Yeah.
Toledo,
all the
go
big lakes, yeah.
wherever you want to go. You
Tons
ain't
more
seeing pressure because you got
Yes.
18 boats at French Creek for a Saturday. Get the hell
Nothing.
out of here, guys.
On Ontario.
There ain't no pressure out there.
No.
But for some reason, a lot of these people are all strung out because the Great Lakes.
That's
Anyway,
interesting.
I know you guys adore your little river here, and I love it too. Okay. I know you think it's the top 100 bass fishing destination in the country. But let me tell you something. I spent thousands of hours on all the Great Lakes as well as all over the country. And this ain't nothing special. I didn't say it like that. But I said,
whoa.
I said, go up to Door County, go to Sturgeon Bay, go to Lake Michigan, go to Lake Huron, go to Georgian Bay, go to Press Isle, go to Sandusky, go to Lake St. Clair,
Wow.
go to Buffalo. That's some good smallmouth fishing, guys. I don't know what the big deal is over here, but it's good, but there's better places on the Great Lakes than just the Thousand Islands. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, your local club tournaments, what are they going to draw? 12 boats? You're worried about 12 boats fishing a club? All these club events are coming here every weekend.
On thousands of miles of
How
shoreline
about
with water
open
that's
tournaments, guys?
inaccessible. to a
There's
bass boat.
three tournaments that I know of that I can sign up and fish next year besides those other big 3. There's 6 events this summer
It's nothing.
besides your 12 boat club tournament. Okay,
Nothing.
so that was frustrating. And all I could hear talk was some guys were like, you should mimic the Canadian regulations and maybe fish,
Yeah.
maybe have a small open. So they really stressed having a closed season during the spawn. Every year is different. These guys think that the spawn happens in 2 weeks and they're done. May 8th is the earliest I found beds on Lake Ontario last year. Eric and I both caught fish.
Yeah. Yep.
So obviously all through May, and then of course opening weekend is nothing but bed fishing.
Yeah, until August.
And then we almost won a tournament if it wasn't for the Great Lakes boys bringing in 38.9 pounds the first week in July. We had 27 pounds, me and JP. I'm not going to lie. We caught them off of bed. Why? It's a damn tournament, and it's 5 lousy fish, okay? 5 lousy fish, bud.
So what do
Let me
you
go
think,
have a little
man?
bit of fun.
What's the net? Walk away. What's the bottom line up front, bro? We're 22
All right.
minutes in.
I understand you're getting bored of my stories.
No, Scooter's waiting in the background, man.
I know Scooter's waiting. He's going to wait just a little bit longer.
All right.
So, what happened is I raised my hand again, and I said, I don't understand why you're talking about potentially maybe having an early season. I said, there is no other place in the country except these 2 counties, St. Lawrence and Jefferson, that are closed for 6 months out of the year. Everywhere else is open. All the Great Lakes fisheries. You can go to Wisconsin and rape them off the beds if you choose to. You can go to Lake Erie and do the same. You can go down to Texas. You can go to Alabama. You can go to Florida. Fish are spawning. Our fish spawn for 3 months. Not every fish is on a bed. In those local, here's what people don't understand in this Thousand Island area. That little shoal that's got 25 beds in an area that you see boats catching them all day long.
Yeah.
Well, there's another 3,000 fish you ain't seen within a quarter of a mile of that spot that are just deeper, inaccessible, not easy to catch. Okay.
And how about the size of the fishery is massive? How many thousands of miles of shoreline that you can't get to because it's just too big for a bass boat, right?
Anyways,
untouched populations.
Then I go, I don't understand. I'm so confused why we're even talking about having a closed season. Open this damn river up like the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I said, I want to see a raise of hands. And there was quite a few people that raised their hands, and I got a little bit of clap after the end. So,
hey, let's go.
JP, you got a big announcement. Go ahead.
Well, Travis, that's very good. The first question was the best one, man. You said our bass spawning in November through. I mean, that's incredible, right? Just that should have been eye-opening for them. I hope they mirror Canada, man. Good stuff. Good stuff, dude.
All right, let's hear it, JP.
All right, big announcement, boys. I'll make it fast. I'll make it sweet. The new gig ain't working for the Big Balbrowski. I threw the 2-week notice in this morning. Going back to the Desert April 1st.
Whoa!
Yeah,
awesome,
going
man.
home.
Congratulations. And what's the new role, man? You got a little promotion, right? It's a different job, isn't
Superintendent
it?
position. It's going to be a superintendent position with the Desert Mechanical. They let me back in, open door policy, arms open. Very grateful to have me come back. Even told me that they were happy that I went and tried to make something of the new job and explore a new opportunity. They're very grateful for me to come back. I'm very grateful to be able to go back. And you know what? Sometimes you roll the dice and you roll snake eyes. Is that a bad roll? You know, I thought it was going to be a good decision to make a move. You know, you can't knock a guy for bettering himself, right? And I think it takes balls to realize, man, I don't think I really like this, right? I could have just stayed there and been miserable, right? But I made the phone call this morning. I told the leadership, listen, you got 2 more weeks out of me. I'm out of here April 1st. And I ain't going to lay down. I'm going to work my ass off for the next 2 weeks because that's just who I am and how I was bred, right? But come April 1st, I'll be back in the field running jobs and catching slobs, baby.
Nice, man. And you're not going to be turning a wrench, right?
Right.
There you go, bro. Awesome stuff, man. Congrats. That's huge. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Good job, JP.
All right. His name rhymes with Hooter, and he loves to ride scooters. He drives the boat with Epic E in the back. They catch bass right out of a sock, baby. They zeroed on day 1, but they heroed on day 2, right? Bringing in the win with 16.97 pounds on a tough Kerr Lake. It is Scooter and Epic Eric.
We were fishing the senior citizens event. I mean, come on.
What's
we were
up,
the youngest
Captain?
guys there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, congratulations, JP.
Thanks, Scooter.
I don't know what to say about your conundrum there, Travis. Sounds like a mess.
It really is.
Well, I mean, they
Crazy.
took my season. They took one of my guide seasons. I mean, and they're very reluctant to ever give anything back once they take it. So
Sure.
probably will never see a striper kept is probably the rest of my life.
Where on the Roanoke, Scooter?
Yeah, Albemarle and the Roanoke. Yeah, they've cut all those seasons out.
What it used to be and what is it now?
Oh, probably when I was growing up, I think I remember 3 fish a man, and now it went to 2 fish for 2 months and in the river, and then 2 fish from October to March 30th in the Sound. Last year we kept 2 up until about now, and then they gave us like a two days for 2 weeks, two days and 2 weeks, for the river, which it used to be 2 months. When I started guiding, it was 2 months. It was April through March. You could keep 2 fish in the river every day. And then it's now gone to 0.
Yeah,
and they've cut it all off. Yeah.
It's fine. Up there in
the
Chesapeake, man.
Yeah, it's fine. It affects business some. I mean, I see what Travis is getting at. And,
Sure.
There's a whole lot of other factors with fish than just people keeping them. There's a lot of things that go on, Mother Nature, and like he was saying, some years are different than the others, and which we're talking about apples and oranges when we're speaking smallmouth and stripers, but it's there's a lot to the spawn here with the stripers, and there's a lot of water management problems at least, it's easy for one guy like to sit behind a desk and come up with a solution. But when you're on the water 250 days a year, you kind of know and see what's going on a whole lot more than somebody that's running numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's, and then, but it's hard to speak that truth without getting pounded in the ground or ignored. So, sometimes you just sit back and watch.
That's right.
That's what we're going to do this year. The season opens June 15th, and we just got to wait around.
Yeah.
So are they bringing it to a vote, Travis, up there or something like that? Or they're just,
I don't think it's a vote.
Comments?
I'm not sure exactly how the rules get changed and how things develop, but
like who makes the policy? It's the DEC, right? And so it's an internal policy. Do they just have complete total control and power over when the season opens and closes?
That'd be a good question to ask. Sure.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing, and then I do want to hear about you guys' tournament, but the biggest thing is I feel like there's a lot of pressure from non-anglers on the river community that want to protect their smallmouth.
Were there any businesses present other than guides to say, how about hotels, convenience stores, gas stations?
No, that's so odd. Yeah, none of them.
Yeah, I went to a meeting. We had the same thing with the Potomac River Fisheries Commission, the PFCW, I think it was. And Captain Steve Chaconis, they had Bill Love from the DNR in Maryland, and they were going to put limits on tournaments and abolish tournaments. So Ken Penrod and his son, Ken Penrod Jr., were against all the tournaments because they're guides. So the guides wanted to protect the largemouth bass from the tournaments. And so there was great discussion. And I went to the meeting. I went to one. And so it was much like, lots of different people were there. And I raised my hand. I said, has anybody done a study on the economic impact of the volume of money that is brought in by these larger tournaments and smaller club tournaments. And the room got kind of quiet. I mean, I don't know how the economy is up there, but opening the season early would bring so much more business, not only for you as a guide, Scooter, but what about the little hotel, the B&B down the street, the restaurant down the street that could open earlier? You know, do they have a closed season out there? How are they doing? You're talking about jobs, right? So anyway, that's another pretty strong force in the fishing equation with an earlier open season, because it's an amazing fishery.
I mean, it's the same with everywhere. I mean, it's, you know, the better your fishery is, and I'm getting into where the grass in the lakes bring more fishermen to them when you know, because, you know, that's which we don't, nobody wants to hear that. Grass is bad, but you know, when those lakes are fishing good and everybody can catch fish, most time it's based on the aquatic vegetation in the lake, you know, to get your, you know, your oxygen levels up and your fish sit in a position where you can catch them and have fun and everybody can enjoy the fishery. I mean, but that brings people to your hotels, to your restaurants, to your gas stations, to your tackle shops, to your mom and pop diners. I mean, you know, but you know, when certain things like that are eliminated and then it becomes a seasonal thing, so it's got to hurt some.
Yeah,
you know, it's got to
no
hurt.
doubt, man.
Got to hurt some businesses. Yeah, I mean, it's like the small town we honey, and I mean, like actual deer season is the prime time for that small area in Scotland Neck. I mean, it's those 3.5 to 4 months, that town thrives off of the people coming in to hunt, you know, with the outfitters or just with a friend or whatever. But it's a thriving little town for about 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of Scotland, and speaking of Scotland Neck, my good friend, my good friend and business owner, Paul Kemp, will be fishing the Bassmasters Classic this week. So anybody out there watching, check him out. Keep him in mind. Let's hope he brings home the trophy.
That'd be cool, man. Yeah, Pal is Scooter Lily's business partner and Carolina Woods and Water, correct, Scooter?
Carolina Woods and Water, yes.
Right. That's Scooter's part owner. He's also got CWW Inshore Charters. Let me give him a proper introduction. That's correct. You could book Scooter for a striper trip on the legendary Albemarle Sound / Roanoke River, probably one of the best striper fisheries really in the world. And Scooter will also continue his guiding season on the Albemarle Sound for speckled trout, puppy drum, and flounder. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do that in the Pamlico, which is right next door. It's just
Pamlico. That's right.
Yeah, you've rode through all of them in one tournament, so
we really have, man. On the Ocean Pony.
Yeah.
Then the craziest part is the big bull reds that Scooter guides for are like, these are world class
50 pounders. Yes, it's
50 pounders, man.
Trip. Yeah,
it truly is a bucket list trip. Yeah. When's that start, Scooter? When's your big bull red season start?
The best time is probably the August, September, maybe through a week or two of October. You know, they show up. Sometimes they show up early in July, but for the most part, you know, August and September.
Yeah,
they come into the estuaries, into the inner banks of spawn.
Yeah,
and then about mid-October, they all kind of head out into the ocean.
Man, these are giant.
It's kind of fun to chase.
Old fish, man. You gotta do that one time, Travis.
They're old. Yeah, Eric caught one with a head the size of a watermelon and one eye.
It was crazy.
He'd been around a while.
He was an old fish, man.
He was an old one. You could tell he was gray in the face.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to get Scooter on because those that are not aware, Epic Eric and Scooter won a tournament of Bojangles open like that on Kerr Lake.
Cat.
I wished I had Bojangles. I mean, it was we were there early enough to have made Bojangles biscuits. There is no doubt. It was a strange event. We misread the entire venue for the morning. Didn't look at the internet that well. This guy had planned for cold weather, which I mean, props off. We were just, I reckon, eager to get there. 8 o'clock blast off, which is way unusual. And it was light at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Figured 7 o'clock we were gonna blast off. We were in the water at 10 or 15 after 6 with Marty Stone. Marty Stone we all hit the water. It was just 2 of us. And, you know, we're all sitting there like, well, I guess it's just us. You know, we're going to be 1 against 1 today. And around 7 o'clock, a few more boats showed up. And then by 7:30, it was a long line right out into the highway. We're like, good God, what is going on, you know? Like we ain't going to never get out of here.
70.
You know, yep, 8 o'clock, 60-some boats at 8 o'clock finally put in, and we took off. And we had a good day. And
all right, so 8 o'clock start. What time was check-in?
4 o'clock.
Okay, all right.
4
You
o'clock.
got your 8-hour tournament.
He extended it. It was, I think, the next one he's having, I believe, since I've had enough sense to go back and look on the website, I believe it's 7:30.
7:30.
So-
Blast off next weekend.
Is
then
it
it'll go
safe?
to
Is it
6:30.
safe to assume that it's pre-spawn on Kerr right now?
Yes, most
Okay.
definitely. Yeah. But it's as close to the spawn as
Mm.
I've seen it in many years in March. I can tell
All
you
right.
that. The
Now-
water temperature is bouncing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever fished Kerr before. Maybe I have.
Bugs Island back
Yeah.
in the day.
Okay.
You
I
might
did.
have Bugs Island, or
To me, that lake this time of year would set up for your live scopers and fishing, you know, deeper water off of spawning areas, places where there's some bait fish. I'm surprised because I know you guys are not. Maybe I'm
Right,
wrong.
and no-
But I'm,
I mean, Travis, you're absolutely right. And 2 weeks ago, then back it up. 3 weeks ago, the champions, I presume they called them off LiveScope, and they called them jerk baits. And they had two really good weekends. I think they won actually the same tournament that we fished Sunday. They won the first 2 events, and I mean, you know how rumor is, but that's what I heard. And
Sure.
that they had called them off LiveScope, doing exactly what you said, out in the out off the banks, and the water temperature was probably in the 40s.
Yeah.
okay. So that morning, what was your game plan, and what rods did you have rigged up with what bait, Scooter?
Well, we were listening to our faithful old weatherman that we love so much. And he was forecasting, I believe it was like
10 to 15.
10 to 15 out of the, who cares, just blowing. So, you know, I had a lot of moving baits on, and
Me too.
rigged up and ready to go. We had some crank baits on, had a few spinner baits, chatter baits, you know, your typical lineup for a springtime tournament with the water in the 55 to 60 degree range. And we sat till 8 o'clock, and you could have dropped a pin on that lake and watched
It
the
was
ripples
glass.
go across it.
It was
I was
slick,
like-
dude.
I was like, so we pulled to the first spot, and I told Eric, I said, man, I said, this is going to be a tough one.
Yep.
And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, there ain't a ripple. It's like the only ripple you could get was off your boat when you set it down. You know, that was it. You had to fish your weight going into a place, you know. And I was like, man, this is going to be terrible. This is one of those balsa flat side, shallow cranking, no rattles, you know, throw a treble hook with a little hint of feather on the back of it. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of those finesse
Like that.
days. Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, I picked up a half-ounce spinnerbait that sounded like a brick hitting the water.
Yeah.
In 3 foot of water, and just
Might have been a
gonna
river rat.
pretty much just going to go through what I had in my brain if there was a little bit of wind. And we were running around in the backs of the creeks and stuff, and the first spot we stopped, we caught 2 or 3 little ones and one about 3 pounds, and I was completely shocked that the fish were a foot deep and it was dead slick. I mean, I knew the water had come up a little bit, and then they pulled it back down, so that makes some fish go shallow. But we just got lucky in the morning, and I kept the spinnerbait going, and me and Eric both did. And I mean, he, of course, in Eric true fashion, he threw some of everything, trying to make sure he wasn't missing anything on the way in and out. picked up, I don't know, we picked up a right good little bag in the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, so you caught that first one that was 3 pounds, you said, and then
Mm-hmm.
some small ones. Did you put the small ones in the well?
No, no,
Okay.
we caught 5. We wound up with
Yeah.
probably a 14-pound bag in the first
Yeah.
2 hours in
Yeah.
dead slick water, and around 10 o'clock, it was pretty much like a light switch. The wind just it just come out of nowhere and blew the lake up on all ends. Which, I mean, on Kerr, especially out of all the lakes I fish, which I prefer wind anywhere I go, but that lake in particular, I mean, you know, they always say wind is your friend, and that's no joke on that lake. It can't get too rough. If you can stand up and fish, you know, it just can't get any better than that lake when it comes to wind. You know, I don't care if it's in the pockets or main lake. It's just you need wind.
What about as far as like the winning weight for that day? What did you think it was going to take?
Well, you know, of course we started off good that morning, and then I had a whole bunch of guys that I fish against that are really good up there in my brain. And I'm thinking somebody's going to flip up a 20-pound bag in that slick, calm bluebird morning we were having. And it was 50-degree morning, I mean, which is a perfect spring morning. And you know there's going to be some fish laying shallow. They didn't pull off, you know, and then pull back up in the middle of the day. And I just felt like what we had in our box, even at the end of the day, I felt like, you know, at least we didn't do what we did at Smith Mountain. You know, Smith Mountain, it was the same conditions, the same water temperature, and it was just like I didn't know how to catch a fish. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it was like I was doing everything that I did at Kerr, and it just didn't matter. I was just completely blown out of my mind. It was like the areas that I had fished up there in the last 10 or 15 years were just like the ghost town.
Dead Sea.
Yeah, it was like a ghost town. I mean, you'd get one or two to bite in the very back in the mud at Smith Mountain, but they were, you know, it just was nothing. Which I've never really caught the fish really good on Smith. I mean, I've never gone out there and say, yeah, I had a 30 fish day. I've never done that. I mean, I've always caught, if I caught a dozen, I had a great day at Smith Mountain. Most of them will be big. You'll have 20 pounds in that dozen. If you catch a dozen, I'll usually have 20 pounds or more.
Mm-hmm.
But Kerr Lake, I mean, you could catch 50 or 60 and not have 12 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot more fish on that lake, you know. So and it's a pattern lake. Once you figure it out, you can pretty much run and gun it. You know, you can juke and jive, and if you caught one on a lay down, and you can go through your brain bucket and run lay downs and catch them. You know, so that's kind of how that lake does. So I kind of
What if you did get them on lay down on that lake and it was your first time there? Can you use that pattern still? Obviously, you know in your head where the lay downs are, and you can just run to them.
But that's for years. I mean, years of being on that darn lake. I've got so many things in my brain when it comes to that. I go, oh, lay downs, let's go do this. But but you know, for somebody new on the lake, yeah, I mean, they could pretty much run around and visually go look lay downs, and mark them and catch them. But we've been on the lake for the last 3 weeks, and the last 3 weeks, the fish have been somewhere different every week.
Yep.
Yeah, every week. I'm talking just almost extinct from where we were at the week before. You know, we thought we were going to get them where we got them last week, and then it just completely was a total different ball game.
Yeah,
a lot of changing right now. This year is warming up quicker than most years, and the group of fish that came up early were sitting. The water was 3 foot below what they call normal pool, and the lake was pretty dry. So you were really just, it was obvious. You'd see the rocky corner going out into the lake or into the creek, and then the fish would be, if you could find some rocks with a little bit of water off the end of them, fish were staging up at the mouth of pockets. You know, you might catch 5 or 6 fish off of one little rock vein with a crankbait, and then the next week the water came up 3 foot, they dropped it 2 foot, fish jumped up into the backs of the pockets, And then people started catching them on chatterbaits and that kind of stuff in the pockets. And then, then you got different waves of fish throughout the lake. They all don't go up at the same time. The creek fish go up first and then the main lake fish go up last. So it's it's a timing thing when it comes to catching those fish on that lake. I never look at it as if all the fish are up. People are like, they're all in they all went up. Nah, they didn't all go up. There was some that stayed shallow during the wintertime that went up first, and then there's always stages that go up.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
Eric, when did you catch the first fish? Your first fish?
Man, what time was that? I don't know, man. Days a blur. I know I put the first good keeper that called.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, and then a second keeper that called after. Actually, Scooter called the first shot, which was really cool.
You caught a couple. I mean, you caught a couple prior to that one, but caught one off a big rock.
Yep.
And then around 10 o'clock, it went in the box.
Yep.
It was a good one. We caught a lot of fish in that 3 pound, 2 3/4 to 3 pound range.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, if it was a 10 fish limit, it was like we had a bunch of cookie cutters. We
were throwing back 3 pounders. A lot of the calls, the beam was like maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're getting a lot of. Hold on, we're getting a lot of comments in. Maybe Eric didn't catch a fish in that tournament.
Oh shit!
No,
right.
I promise you, he did.
That's right.
Well, neither me or Eric caught one the day before in Smith Mountain, so it didn't matter. I mean, those guys up there that won, they had it dialed in. They deserved it.
So you zero in one tournament and you win.
No, we had some keepers. We just didn't weigh in. We didn't zero.
Wow.
We had one. We had one, I think. Yeah. Had one chunk that and I'll tell this. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. I threw up under a dock. And we done fished several. I threw up under a dock, and I got a little professional overrun in the reel. And I was counting out my line, and I pulled the line back tight, and I could tell there was some friction on it. So I just pulled back, and I caught a 4 pounder on a mag graph, nevertheless. He was in a foot of water, so I don't know, if he hit it on the bottom or if he hit it going down, but he didn't hit it from anything I did other than casting.
I'll tell you what,
I should have then stuck it on the mag graph.
Yeah. That was the key.
But that's what
happened. Mag graph.
So
it was we both lost the bass for sure. Caught a couple stripers for sure.
Yeah, we lost 4. We lost 4. Yeah. We only got 5 keeper bites, and we lost 4 of them on 4 different baits, 3 different baits.
Yeah. What were they? What were the baits? What were all 3?
Mag graph. Glide bait. Drop minnow and a jerk bait, little finesse jerk bait I was throwing.
You're using the drop minnow?
I didn't use the drop minnow. I called it a drop minnow. I was using the scented jerk shad.
Okay.
Gussie's color. Yeah.
Did you smell your fingers after you put it on the hook?
It did. I fish with it all the time in saltwater.
I mean, I thought he was hungry and we were going to catch crappie there or something, but he threw it out there.
He laughs when he sees that stuff on the boat.
Man. He threw it out there, and I watched the fish on LiveScope. I was like, you can almost like the fish just got brighter. It was funny. I mean, you're watching it, and it was like he just lit up and went right up there, and his rod bends over. And I'm like, oh, so that's how it works. So I'm just, I'm watching that. It was pretty cool.
Scooter, how many
I put my bait on them, though, for sure.
How many spinning rods for bass do you own?
Not a single one.
Come on.
That's a lie. I bought you one.
I know you did, and it's in the striper lineup for tomorrow.
Exactly. I bought him one, Travis. I had to buy him one.
He did. Yeah. He did buy me one. Now, I will bring one once in a while and throw it in the boat just so I can. I mean,
How many times did spinning rod?
Wait a minute. So 20 years ago, when I was fishing the String Series, I had 2 spinning rods in my boat because I knew I would be a dummy if I didn't go out, which back then it was shaky heads. So if you didn't have a shaky head tied on, you were just crazy. If you were at 12 o'clock with no fish in the box, you better start throwing, get you some fish. So I did do it,
So how would you feel about a 5 pound braid on a spinning rod. Is that foreign?
I'd floss my teeth probably. And yeah,
He calls it
that's what I
horsehair,
would do.
man.
I mean,
He
yeah,
calls
it's
it horsehair, man.
Wow.
How many
Throwing
times
that
has a
horsehair.
spinning rod helped us win a tournament?
Um,
Our first win together.
legitimately helped us win a tournament.
Go, Jane.
You may correct me. You may have to correct me.
All right.
I do know twice
Yes,
for a
you're right.
fact.
Mhm.
One of them was a really big one, and one of them was really important.
Yep. You
Yep.
got it exactly right. He remembers everything. The guy's got a photographic memory, which makes it incredible.
Eric, is Scooter coming up for those days you're coming up by me?
I wish he would.
Nah, he's
That'd be
working.
extraordinary. I know. I wish he would come up. That'd be awesome to have him on the water too. Up
When is
there,
this? When are
he
we
would
talking
enjoy
about?
the shit out of it. Holy
Yeah.
moly!
What are we talking about, Travis?
Eric's coming up, what, end of April?
Yeah, I would
On the
love
Canadian side. Canadian side's open until May 10th. So
Yeah, I would love to
Oh,
see
man.
Scooter catch a smallie. Like he
I
would
would
just have
love
so
to.
much fun.
I
You
would love
have.
to.
I mean, you've been up there
Yeah, I've
doing
caught
it,
it.
but I mean,
Yeah.
you've caught tons of smallmouth. But I know
Well,
you
I don't know
just
about
enjoy
tons.
the
I've
hell
not caught. No, I've only caught them. I can count on I can count just about on both hands how many days I've caught smallmouth in my life. But they are fun to catch. I'm just not good at it. I mean, Smith Mountain Lake is loaded with them, and
Yes.
and I just I'm not even in the same hemisphere as a smallmouth. You know, unless they're out there schooling, you know,
That's
or
so
something in the
wild.
fall. Yeah, I can catch him then. He's got to come up shallow. He spawns a little too deep for me to fish for him.
Mhm.
He's got the finesse guy he needs, but you know, you got to try it.
I haven't got the patience.
Right.
I mean, that's my problem. You do. I do not. I do not have patience. I cannot sit still. That's what's wrong with the LiveScope on the front of my boat. I believe in it. I mean, we have won one tournament. We completely won a tournament off of LiveScope.
No.
And it was,
Completely? We
Well, I
caught
mean-
some fish on it, but they didn't make it all to the weigh-in.
I can go ahead and tell you, Eric, we would have completely lost that event if it wasn't for LiveScope. I don't care how many we caught the first day on the
You
bank.
mean the LiveScope that I bought?
That one.
That one.
If we hadn't had that LiveScope that last
Yeah.
day of the tournament, and I'll tell you the story really quick.
Would you
We were in the back of a
have
creek.
fished that point?
Huh?
Your knowledge of that point made you look. Would you have casted there anyway? I'm
Well,
just
no,
getting you to think about it.
Because we pulled up and I made the cast. I mean,
Yeah.
I took a crankbait out. It was a Series 5 Strike King. I took the bait out of the box.
The old one that I bought.
I hadn't just pulled it out of the box and I made the cast. It was 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock weigh in.
Yeah, I bought those Series 5s for us in South
That's
Carolina,
right.
by the
You
way.
got you got them and threw out there, and I made 3 or 4 casts. I hit the stump that I was trying to hit, and it was probably 10 foot deep, and nothing. You know, I'm like, oh man, I'm pulling everything out of my pocket trying to get us a limit of fish for this second day of this event, and we were getting.
We already
ready to
had a
leave.
limit on shaky heads.
There was nothing in the live well. There was like 1 or 2.
What?
Maybe there was.
We had a limit. Yeah, we had a small limit, dude.
It was so small it didn't even
You had
register
6
in
pounds
my
in the well.
bucket.
I get it.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
we had a
won't
limit
even
of fish
10.
that we caught on the
It won't even-
shaky heads. For
We
sure.
may have, but
We
anyway,
definitely did.
I have my LiveScope on all the time. It's
Mhm.
on no matter what I'm doing, because yes, you can be shallow fishing, and I can see them out to 90 feet in 4 foot of water. So, but they don't look like fish. I don't know how to describe it. They're like I call them light bulbs. They'll glow. They just glow out there at 90 feet. And so we were in 15 foot of water, throwing into 10. And instead of pulling the trolling motor up and cranking up and just making a big U-turn over the spot and leaving, for some reason I turned my trolling motor out to the right to point the boat in the direction we were leaving, and the LiveScope went. It just lit up, and I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" And I spun the LiveScope back over there, and 50 foot from where I was casting was just a thriving with something. You know, I knew it was fish. So I picked that 10X, that 10
5,
Series
Series
10
5.
back up. Yeah, Series 5 back
Series
up.
5.
I threw it out there, first cast hooked up. Caught like 6 in a row. And while we were doing some culling mess, he jumps up with a big worm, and we wound up with 20-some fish and 20-some casts. And we won that event. We won that classic. And it was all because that gave us the momentum to go on and win. We would have been lost without it. 'Cause we didn't win by much, but it did it. So you do need to pay attention to it, especially even old shallow fishermen that don't want to believe in it. I mean, it will get you there when you need it to.
Man, I'll tell you what. I was fishing Saturday with my father, and I was telling Eric the story earlier. And I was fishing maybe 7 feet of water in some year-old cabbage grass, and I was picking them right out of the cabbage. With
You can see them sitting there.
Yeah, you can see them in the grass if you look hard enough.
That's right. You can see them around rocks too. And so my first experience was Eric put one on our boat from Angler's Choice. He put one of the first Panoptics, when they first came out, he put one on the boat. And I had a little bit of experience on Hartwell with it when we first got it, and then I went right into guiding season with stripers, and I was running that boat a little bit, chasing the stripers when I could, when the weather was right. And at the mouth of our river, there's some big flats. It's like 3 to 6 foot deep. And I went out there messing around with it because I had never used it and didn't know how to even angle figured out how to angle. You hear anybody was just learning how to work the transducer, and I had it facing forward, and those things could not run from the stripers just could not get away from that thing. But I noticed them, even the first couple of days using it, they would stay at 70, 80 feet away from the boat with it. Like you'd pull down and catch them, and then you would have to go another 20 foot closer and catch them again. It was like they would stay right on the outer rim of it. But we smoked them for all that year on that thing. I could just look around. I'm like, nah, ain't one here. Let's go somewhere else. So
I bought that LiveScope because we made it to the Bass Nation Team Championship. So you guys know, people want to know why I bought the LiveScope. First of all, I saw it with Travis, and I'm like, this is ridiculously good. It's ridiculously good.
It was cool.
You guys know I don't like to fish up front, Scooter. I never fish up front with you. I don't think I was up front when you saw those fish. I caught some crankbait fish. I just watched where Scooter was casting, and then, I put the big worm up. And I think I called out all 5 of those fish in 5 consecutive casts. We did catch about 20 there.
You did.
But
a lot of fish.
When we won the team points championship, we qualified to go down to Lake Hartwell for the Bass Nation Team Championship. And I wanted Scooter to go to the Classic, and Scooter wanted to go to the Classic. And my plan was, if we made it to the final day, I would sit down and Scooter would go on and fish.
Yeah,
and
so
I wasn't going to fish. I had no interest in fishing by myself in the Classic. I don't want to do that. I'm a team guy.
Crazy dude.
I wouldn't do it. John was like, why don't you buy a boat? JP's like, why don't you buy a boat? I was like, I don't want to buy a boat. Anyway, so
the crazy thing is, I tried to get him to fish as a co-angler with me in some events, like a draw tournament. Nah, you won't do it. I
don't want to do it. We put that LiveScope on, Travis, configured it, watched a YouTube video. Yep. We went over to Scooter was breaking the boat in, and then I see a little buoy in the lake that says fish structure. We went over there. He points the LiveScope at it. Literally threw my drop shot over there, and like 20 fish came off the bottom you couldn't see on the LiveScope. And I could see my shad-shaped worm, and I was shaking it. We caught little 12-inch spots, and I'm like, this is fun. It was unbelievable. We used LiveScope in the tournament, and we sucked. Yeah. And it just completely threw. I think we could have, if he would have done what I think he naturally thought he should have been doing in the wind, because there was a lot of wind that tournament, I don't know what would have happened, but it probably would have been very good.
I mean,
it would have been very good.
Yeah. I was. And
we found a group
looking at the fish.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, that was my first experience with LiveScope. How many years ago was that? 5 years ago. Yeah. I put a LiveScope on his boat, and then you started using it for striper fishing. Or it's pretty incredible.
It was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
First year they come out. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That was all because of you, Travis.
It was. Thank you,
Wow.
Travis. You
You're
just
welcome.
demolished my entire dreams of ever going to the Classic. No, I'm just joking. Good luck, pal. You know, who fished in the dirt to get there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a live scope. When he won the Open on Kerr, Kyle Kemp
Yeah,
did.
he won the
Yep.
Open on Kerr. Yeah. In a
Yep.
30-mile-an-hour wind. Yeah.
Fishing old school.
Got it
JP,
done.
what do you got going on, bro? Why are you cracking up?
He's reading the comments. It's
What's
been
going on?
entertaining. Just some people bantering back and forth, and I've been trying to new policy. I'm not the one banning. It's actually JP. So if you do make a crude comment, you get banned immediately. And JP is the moderator on that.
No, I just want to
that's
give a
hilarious.
big listen, guys. I love you guys to death, but I got legs to rub and sleep to catch. I got to drive Gino to work at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow because his truck's broke down. Big shout out to Anthony G again, one more time, guys. He's my long distance fitness coordinator, right? Calls me every Friday, tells me to behave myself over the weekend. Anthony, you're the man. I'm gonna go rub them legs right now. Scooter, Eric, congratulations on your big win. Travis, call you in the morning. Peace.
See you later.
Hey.
He's out. How about that?
Gone. He's
He's gonna
gone.
rub some. He's got some legs to rub. Kids to
He's
put
out.
to bed.
I don't know what that means. I'm just not even going there.
Yeah,
No.
you shouldn't. That's right. That's
It
right.
sounds like something I have missed.
So how's that, Scooter? A couple people are asking. It looks like you're camping. You're like there should be like
Yeah.
a little campfire in front of you.
I thought about
It's
it.
like a fireside chat.
I thought this
Yeah.
would probably be the quietest place in my house, which would be outside.
It is, man. It's surprisingly quiet. I can't believe you're outside and it's that
What's the
quiet.
It's a
temperature?
really nice afternoon. Yeah. I said, you know what? I'm gonna set up here. I didn't feel like cleaning the office up. You know,
Is
not
it
just
like in the
around.
60s right now or 50s?
It's 60s probably.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice. We don't usually get it. It's a little warmer. We're having some warm weather. I think it's
Yeah,
supposed
but
to cool off a little bit this week, but it's gonna warm back
Uh-huh.
up. How about y'all? What are you looking at up your way?
It's been really nice, except for I guess about 2 days ago the wind kicked up. I think it was only in the upper 30s today, and the whole week will be in the 30s, 20s, and 30s. So it's
During the daytime.
yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not where you're at.
Mhm.
I'm tired of that. That is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers. Can't even feel your fingers on the water on those days.
Yeah.
Whew.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were gonna have. I mean, it's early. It's March 18th.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It should be that, right? I should be ice starting to hang off the truck out here, but it's not. It's I mean, if it's 55, it ain't much. You know, it's nice.
So
I
a
had the
couple,
air conditioning. The AC was on in the house all day today. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
you know,
Couple comments. I know, Aaron. We don't have a date yet for if I do put a tournament on this year. We haven't decided, and
Still
then
undecided, man?
we haven't
Really?
decided. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to. There needs to be some more tournaments, but it's just not happening right now. And then they were asking Scooter, where are you located? Like, where's home base?
I'm originally from Williamston, North Carolina, which is right off the Roanoke River. I moved to Chocowinity in Chocowinity Bay, which is off the Tar River. It's on eastern North Carolina. Pamlico Sound, Tar River dumps into the Pamlico. I'm about a 30-minute ride, 40-minute ride.
What's the biggest city where you're located?
Something
Something we would know.
I would say close to me would be like ECU. Greenville is like 20 minutes from here. East
Greenville.
Carolina University, which is Greenville, North Carolina.
Yep.
You know, then you got Raleigh, which is it's about an hour and 40 minutes from here,
Gotcha.
which is where a lot of my clientele, you know, comes from that area to go striper fishing or bass fishing or catch a red drum. It's mostly local, you know, in-state guys that fish with me.
All right, I know you fish a lot of different patterns, but what would be your favorite way to catch a bass?
Great question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
I think I know. I'm going to guess, but I'm not saying.
Man, I got like 3 ways I really like to catch them.
Tell us the 3 ways, top to bottom.
I mean, I love to catch them cranking.
That would be my first.
Yeah.
Like When?
top
What
water.
time of
Top
year?
water,
In-
probably. If I could get them to bite a top water bait,
Yeah, you would.
if I could get them to eat a top water spook or
Let's talk the cranking. What
frog.
time of the year are you going to be mostly doing most of your cranking?
The coldest. March is like, because this is when the tournaments really start up in our area is March, and I'm a little disappointed that it's and people are gonna think I'm probably crazy. So I'm just a little disappointed that it's warming up as quickly as it is. I like to see the water below 50 degrees. I like to keep them bunched up. On their pre-spawn little areas.
Okay.
And so I can work on them when I find them, because usually when you find one, they got friends.
Oh yeah.
And now everything's kind of spreading out. You're gonna have to hunt them down. It's not gonna be like pull up and rope them in some of these lakes. They're already, some of them are in the mud, some of them are on the point, some of them are still waiting to pull up. So but it's gonna all happen fast the way this water temperature is warming up. But that's my favorite. I'd say January, February, March. I love to crank.
And what would be? Do you have the top 3 crankbaits that you would have ready to go?
I know. Go ahead.
I mean, my top 3. I won a ton of money off a Bandit 200. That was probably one of my most favorite, which is the old ones, the first runs.
Mm-hmm.
Square bill KVD, when they first come out, they were on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably, my favorite bait to catch them on is a flat A. That's probably my meat and potatoes of the whole crowd.
The Bomber flat A?
Yeah.
100. Best cold water crankbait ever made.
Probably my thing, but there's a lot of things that come along with that bait. They don't always bite it. They don't always like it. So you got to be careful with it.
How do you get a long cast with that bait? What's the secret?
You fish
No
with the
brakes on your reel.
Fish with your wind on your back. You pull into your area with the wind coming behind you, which is opposite the way you're supposed to be doing it, but that's the only way you're gonna get that bait to go out in the wind.
In the wind.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, but that's what I do. I set up on my places. I'm gonna fish according to how I'm gonna have to cast this stuff.
What's the number one color that you typically find yourself using?
Travis, good question.
I pretty much so I'm colorblind. So my box is not going to look like,
story.
Yeah, true story. So my boxes of baits are not going to look like anything that most people have. They're going to be pretty darn simple. I'm going to have a bunch of shad colors, and I'm going to have my chartreuses.
So how do you know?
You got one more in there. You might not know it, but you got one more in there.
How do you know what color you're picking up?
I look at the watercolor.
Uh-huh.
No, how do you know where it is? I thought you're colorblind.
Well, I am, but I can see the shades. I can't okay, so these reds and browns and crawfish colors y'all were throwing, I couldn't tell you if it was orange, red, or brown. It all 3 looks kind of the same. If you put all 3 of them lined up, I can see some different. You can see the different
shades. He sees the intensity. Like he picks the right color for what he's trying to throw, believe it or not.
Okay. So I keep it pretty simple, man. All my stuff is going to be like green pumpkin or June bug.
Well, how do you know? Are you doing the shopping or somebody else picking out baits?
Oh, I'm doing the shopping. Tell what color they are. At it, and I think
what do you do online or when you're at a store? How do you buy baits?
He has a lot of custom painted ones.
I do, and a lot of my stuff is.
How do you describe the color you want custom painted? I don't understand this.
I just have to tell them I want it to look like this, which is.
But you don't know what it looks like.
My baits look like a sheet of paper on one side, and the other side it looks like a faded daggum.
It's a Travis banana. Don't even try. He does fish some production colors in balsa baits, but then he's got other custom colored ones. But he knows what chartreuse is, so he tells the painter, paint it chartreuse blue back. Does it make sense? And he can read the packaging, so if he likes that shade, and he catches fish
I
on it,
just
he knows
look
what
at it
to
on the
tell him to paint.
wall, and what looks to me to be what I'm always using. I buy that if it's in a DT6,
Right.
and I like throwing DT6s. They will throw good in the wind.
Right,
I like throwing stuff like that. I mean, it's but all my colors are pretty much the same, and no matter what style baits I've got. I mean, it's
like this is the Series 5, the old school one I bought in South Carolina. I bought like 20 of them because I bought Scooter. What color is that? Everybody can see it.
All right,
What does
so
it look like to
I
you?
probably would blow your mind, but what I'm looking at here, to me is it's like kind of bone color.
All right.
I don't know what color the back is.
Okay.
And I see I'm going to assume, because nobody would paint anything other than chartreuse down the side of the bank, that I'm pretty sure that's a chartreuse stripe going down the side of it.
All right. All right.
I don't know if that's red or brown on the head. Is that red or brown?
What color is it?
Fire tiger, man.
All right. You can see that. All right.
Yeah, because I got him in the box.
What color is this?
I mean, I know it's a crawl because it's painted like one.
Right.
It's probably
what
got some
colors
orange, red, and brown in it, if I had to guess.
Okay. You had to guess. You were guessing. Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
Hold on. What color is this? It's one of my favorite springtime colors.
It's definitely got chartreuse in it.
Okay. What color is that back?
I'm going to say, is it brown?
Yeah. What's on the shoulders? What do you see on the shoulders of the bait? Right there.
I don't have a clue, but what you do need is just those two colors, and the rest of it is for show.
Okay. I just see. So now you guys know what Scooter sees.
Yeah.
And then hold on, one more color. What's that color?
Rest of it is just for the customer.
What color is that?
Bone and greenback.
All right.
Wow.
There you go.
All right.
See?
So if you had a white and a pink fluke on the carpet of your boat, would you be able to tell which one was white and which one was pink?
I would. The pink is going to be it's going to be like a darker color. And I can distinguish certain colors. It's just and I've gotten really good at this game, looking at these colors, listening to what other people say these colors are. I have learned them, but I'm not seeing them like you're seeing them. Like, he loves that crankbait that he had. I don't even know what that is.
What color? You know the bait.
Felt when you're fishing it.
I don't have a clue what that is.
Have you ever felt when you're fishing that what you have tied on isn't exactly what you thought in your mind, and you're like freaked out about that?
Oh, I've actually had, yes. Back when I was starting out, I've had baits that I had tied on, and somebody would get on back like, "What the heck is that?" Like, what? Why did you choose that for today? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it? I mean, it looks like chartreuse. No, man, that's like orange and something crazy. But yeah, I have had.
And I think that's
like,
why you keep
when the stop had like a stop and go light.
Do what now? When I'm cranking?
No, stop sign.
When you're at an intersection, do you know how to?
I won't to lose my driver's license here tonight. You have to just watch what section there, and I can tell you that. Yeah, at night it's tough. I don't like driving at night.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Now, during the day, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But when the lights are bright and all these LEDs, I can't see half of it.
All right, Scooter. Last one. What color is on top?
Man, I mean, okay. So in my eyes, it's going to be blue, purple, with black across the back or something like that. So So I'm guessing to make it right. I know that's got to be light blue, right?
Do you see any chartreuse?
There is blue in it for sure.
Down at the bottom, I see something in the paint.
Okay.
It could have been pink, but I do see it.
Stop picking
on
there.
Come on. Pink is not a color you really see in a bait a lot, I don't think. But you just told me that the mag draft had a pink float.
You would know. Would you know a pink trick worm if you saw it?
Yeah.
The bubblegum pink. Does that show up as bubblegum pink to you?
I would definitely know. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I would definitely know.
Okay. All right.
But all these color variations that people put on crankbaits is why I don't buy but like one or two colors and I stick with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just the Splatterback Bandit was my.
You love that one.
with the chartreuse belly. That was my absolute favorite. And then they had a blue splatterback bandit that was probably just as good with like the white sides. And I'll never forget one of my buddies here, and they were studs here on the river. It was the Duprees. It was John and Tommy. Tommy's passed now, bless his soul. But they threw me a 200 spring crawl color. This was 25 years ago into the boat. He said, "Why don't you give that a try?" And I was, we were all everybody's buddies, and they were true. They were whipping our butts.
It's probably
I went out and bought a whole bunch of them. Well, my dumb self bought it. It won't even close to what he threw in the bottom of my boat. I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was. I went in there and I went and bought me a rack full of them things, and I thought I had it going. And we got up there talking one tournament afternoon. I catching them on it too. We out there talking about it. He's like, "Well, where's the one I gave you? Why didn't you get some of them?" I'm like, "Well, I did. I bought 10 of them." And he's like, "No, man, that ain't even close." I had the same pattern with about 3 different colors in it. I'm like, "Oh, well."
Oh, that's funny.
I believed in it. That's all that mattered.
All right, you guys we really didn't finish the tournament story. Like when you had your limit and called, what time was your last call?
That crankbait fish in the afternoon, Scooter, that I caught.
Yeah.
And then we probably should have called one more.
And what do you think you have in your live well? How many pounds?
I thought we were at 17 and change at that point, maybe 18.
Yeah, I thought we were pushing 18. I ain't gonna lie. I usually undershoot him pretty big, and he usually
All right, so let's say this was at 2 o'clock. Right, were you feeling good going back to the weigh-in?
I was feeling like we had a respectable bag. I mean, it's been taken anywhere like from 17
to 20
to 23. I mean, 23 won 3 weeks ago. So, but 17 to 20 is a pretty respectable. 17 is on the low end, and 20 is normally what I base every event on. I mean, I that's like the target number for me to hit and relax a second. And because I mean,
and we won last spring with 17, didn't we? And that boys and girls.
Yeah, we did. I mean, and that was like 17 bags.
Yeah,
and we won. We had like 1786. I mean, it was all because of a 5-pounder.
Yeah, and I caught that last call fish at what time?
That year?
Yeah,
that tournament. Oh, you caught it 10 minutes to leave. Yeah,
that was late too. That was crazy.
All right, so how many teams weighed in when you got up there?
Nobody.
We sat around for a while.
Yeah, we had to wait for the setup.
4:15. There was a 4:15 flight too.
That was 4:15.
We were at the 4 o'clock. Yeah, Scooter. We were first.
Then we waited for 4 or 5 people to weigh in, and then we bagged their fish and went on down there. And then an hour later, it was over. I mean, I think everybody had some fish, and they weighed. Most people had something.
A lot of 10, 11, and 12-pound bags that day.
So how long were you?
Couple 14s.
How many boats after you? Was there 30, 40 boats after you knew you were leading?
Oh God. Oh yes.
Easily. There was like 65 boats.
Were you listening to everyone? Were you trying to pay attention, or didn't you care?
No, I walked off and went and talked to Marty Stone and Tyler.
I packed up my truck.
Yeah, he went.
Tyler Trent was there.
All right, then what? So then you all gather around the stage prior to the end, or after they called your names?
About 3 guys before they called our name. We walked up because we could hear the.
Did they have a screen? Did you see your names on the screen still?
No, it wasn't. No, it was nothing like that. He was just down there handing out checks.
So were you asking around? Was there rumors? What was going on?
Yeah, that was a little rumor. We had one of the guys come up and he was leaving to go home. It was actually the
Denny Gilbert.
Frank. Well, Denny was sitting there, but I was having the guys that won the previous 2 tournaments, and I apologize for not getting their names, but
I'll tell you,
my old age has got me blanked out. But anyway, he walked up and congratulated us for winning the tournament, and I said, "Well, I don't know that." And he said, "I think y'all still have it." And that's when I was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to do it."
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like we walked in there with a game-changing bag of fish. It was
Michael Garner and Billy Shelton.
Yeah, Michael and Billy walked up and
With
congratulated.
22.59, and they had
What
big
did they
fish of
have?
6 pound.
I don't know. It was like 10, 11 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But they had 1, 2 back to back, and and we just
What was the predominant pattern for your fish?
I'd say cranking.
Well, yeah, probably cranking.
Yeah.
Probably the ones that got put in the boat and went to the weigh-in. I mean, we had one big one on a spinnerbait that we wound up weighing in, early that morning in the back of a pocket.
Yep.
And then the rest of them were cranking.
Hmm.
Yeah. We had one little flurry.
Yeah.
We caught like 4 3s and 4 casts. And but we caught fish. I mean, we caught right many fish throughout the day, but you know when you get a key bite and what it means. But we were still looking. I was looking hard. I threw a buzzbait for an hour in that tournament trying to get a big one to eat.
One big bite. We kept talking about that, Travis, during the tournament. We're one
Now,
big bite away.
What was the water temp? You said 55?
50 when I 58 to 6 when I saw 58 to 61, I was throwing the buzzbait around.
So that's a pre-spawn technique that works down by you guys?
It does, but it did not. I didn't get one. I heard a rumor that a guy lost a big one. Somebody was talking about it. Yeah, my
At the weigh-in.
Yeah, at the weigh-in. Yeah, the guy lost a big one on a buzzbait. But I mean, that's you're not.
What's your buzzbait of choice?
My buzzbait? Would be, I say, the all-time my favorite fish catching buzzbait. I've got 2, and it's 2 different places I use them. One is the bass alarm now, and it used to be the chatterbuzz.
The one you threw, Travis, in your Toyota series that I gave you.
Yeah, it used to be called the chatterbuzz, and then it was bought out and renamed the bass alarm.
Yep.
And that is a bad little joker on river systems. And I mean, I'm sure it'll bust them up on a lake too, but it just
this time of year, were you was there any chunk of plastic behind it or any trailer?
I got a couple more tournaments. I don't really throw that all out there. You can, I mean, I would say yes. I always throw a trailer on everything with a blade or a buzzbait top. I always use a trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always a trailer on it. And I mean, sometimes if it's I will throw this out there. Like if it's the water's super clear, like I'll put a straight tail trailer on it. I just put a little body on it of some sort. And
then is there a trailer hook or no?
Yeah. A free floating trailer hook. I always let mine just free swing. I don't ever peg them to where they're just stuck straight out the back.
How do you do that?
I just put the hook on and put the plastic keeper.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's swinging.
So it's swinging.
Yeah.
I always let it swing. Yeah. I've always done that. I mean, I didn't to start with, but over the years, I'd rather have it. It don't seem to snag as bad. And I throw a trailer on everything. Sometimes it's aggravating. But I don't know how many fish I've caught just on the tip of that trailer hook under the chin, or when they just come up there and peck it. Because they do that. But
so we got a little off track, but your 2 favorite baits, cranking, topwater, and you were supposed to say a third, but we never heard it.
I mean, a frog. I mean, that's it's just considered topwater, but if I've had months where that's the only thing I had in my hand all day long.
And where on what lakes, particularly like on Kerr?
Any of those.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
I guess
Rivers, lakes,
I assume
everywhere.
a lot of times it's not what us northerners and maybe people in the deep south or some of the lakes with grass are thinking. You're not technically throwing that in slop then.
What, the frog?
Right.
Oh yeah, I throw it wherever.
Trees. What he's talking about?
Besides
Grass,
flop,
not
where
a
you
not a
playing in
mat,
the-
not a mat, Scooter.
mat,
Grass.
yeah.
No, I mean I would pick a hole in it or something to throw it in or around the edges or.
No, he's saying when you fish it on lakes, you're not throwing it in grass.
Like on curve.
No, there's
Right.
no grass. No, there used to be, but it's not now. I mean, it's.
So,
I mean, you.
so where and how far away from? I assume you're throwing to the bank, but how far away from that cover are you working it? And what is the cover that you're throwing the frog to?
It
no
was, I mean,
grass.
on these lakes, like I mean, you some of the lakes have I call it alligator weed is what I call it, but it's like a matted type of grass, like in Lake Gaston has a lot of it. I mean, I throw it on that. I throw it on the docks. I throw it on a bush. I throw it on a rock. I'll throw it.
Log everywhere,
whatever target I
Dumb.
see, and if I'm in a pocket, I'll throw it as far as you can possibly throw it back into the woods and ping pong it off of trees and pray you can pull him over the limb when he hits it.
I've seen
So
that
use
movie.
65-pound braid and a really stiff rod.
If you're gonna tie a frog on, what brand and color is it normally gonna be?
Man, you're really getting specifics over here tonight.
I'm just curious.
You don't have to give up the ghost.
Yeah, he
No, I
does.
mean, but I will tell. I threw the Booyah. I mean, a good friend of mine turned me on to that one, and Mike May, and his put some money in the boat. I can tell you that.
No doubt.
The pad crusher. Yeah. It's really just a simple frog, but it gets him.
He doesn't know what color it is because he can't see color.
Right.
So.
Well, he knows if it's a white one or a black one or a green one.
I'm gonna
No.
hate to tell somebody the wrong.
He knows
thing.
black and white. That's it.
That's it. So you can only guess for yourself which two I keep. You don't need but two.
There you go.
So,
That's right.
you know, you don't need but two. The fish can't see the top. They're only looking at the bottom.
That's right.
I agree, but like, how do you know a straight like a popper frog, versus a walking frog versus a?
He's not throwing a popping frog. He takes one frog. That's it. One frog fits all.
Yeah.
So I don't need a big 3,700 size box full of frogs.
I mean, I don't. I mean, it don't mean that it's gonna work. But I mean, I just have two colors and about 30 frogs in the boat. And
That's
keep them
interesting.
at all times.
It's been a while since I caught a fish on a frog, but
We need to go to French Creek.
I'm gonna say the Albemarle Sound was unbelievable the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, it was just stupid down there frog fishing. Yeah, it was a game changer for the guide service because it was so fun for people to do it. I mean, even tying them on spinning rods and letting guys just throw a frog on a spinning rod.
I'm letting know. I do like the live targets. I do like the
that's a good looking frog.
live targets. All three sizes. I normally use a small one, the medium size. River to Sea actually made a really good popping frog back in the day. Yeah.
The only problem is I try not to get caught up in all the different lines of them too. So like when I find something I like, I just kind of put my blinders on until I'm proven differently somehow or another.
Yeah. Remember when that frog with the Velcro came out?
Oh yeah, for he would grip it with his teeth for his
dude. I bought that.
Yeah.
I bought that. I bought that. I went to a place off of Lake Ontario on the South Shore that was full of just duckweed. It was prime. So our largemouth fishing scooter up here, it's not like you're going to, catch anything over 5 pounds, but you can catch 60 to 100 fish a day on a frog, right? So it's like I probably missed 20 strikes.
No way.
Yeah. You know the intro with the Co-Angler Dice song, Sean. We should have him back on the show, by the way. But
we should.
He was with me that day. And
no way.
I'm like, fuck this frog. Like,
was it too hard? Did it not collapse? What was the problem?
I don't know.
Because
I just kept thinking they were gonna.
You gotta boil.
I just kept thinking that Velcro would, catch their mouth.
Well, I've only been a frog fanatic for the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, like I didn't throw it for 15 years. Like I didn't even have one in my boat.
Yeah, you were more of a
Yeah, I was
Papa
throwing
Rico
throwing
guy.
a Rico and some other
Mango
things around.
lure.
Yeah, just throwing those baits with the treble hooks on them. Really losing a couple good ones every day. But you know, I was, you know, but I had lost so many fish, like you just talked about on a frog. I mean, like I would get like, I don't want to make an 8-pounder bite. I want to catch him. So I mean, I was losing 7 out of 10, or getting these massive blow ups and just not getting any hook sets. And I quit fish. I flat out just, it won't even part of my tournament.
You did.
Seen as much of the shallow fish. And, you know, and now once I figured out I was just completely using the wrong setup with the rod and reel and braid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to get the right
Matters,
setup.
man. You did.
Yeah. And once you get in a groove with it, you'll catch 9 out of 10 most of the time if they're eating it. So it's all about your
Oh,
rod and
JP in the
reel.
comments. I do like the Terminator. Terminator popping frog is pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of great frogs out there. I look at them once in a while just to see what I'm missing.
Eric made me buy. Oh, what was that one?
He does that to people.
Yeah, it was some.
Which one?
There's
Which
one that
one's
looked
that?
like a fucking shrimp. It was a
Wouldn't know
top
where to
water
sit
shrimp.
I mean,
The Norries?
Yeah, why'd you make me buy a top water shrimp, dude?
I don't know, because of what we wanted to test some shit out. Remember, make.
I
some
thought you
videos.
had like, this is the thing. He kept talking about how it makes a popping noise, like a pop, 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 pop.
that's so
I don't
funny.
remember that.
So I bought this
I don't-
top water
I
shrimp.
don't even have any. I don't even remember that. What?
2
thought
nori
we were
shrimps, man.
Weren't we trying to like make a video on?
No, you were dead
do
serious
bad-
about the shrimp
do
at the
bad-
tackle store.
Do
I
bad.
mean, I
eat
still own a
shrimp?
box of helicopter lures, so I can't laugh at you.
I know, man. We all have bought some bad stuff in our days, man. That's
The
hysterical.
flying lure, got a box.
And I'm
of
not
that.
saying it's bad. I never threw it, but
Yeah, we're still trying to make the video. Will a bass eat a shrimp?
Sure, they
that
will.
wasn't the video. No, that was that. You were talking about like the crab, not a shrimp.
Yeah,
Or
we got to make
squid.
that video too. Oh, we tried with the squid. Remember?
You made me drop $60 on a topwater shrimp to try.
3 of them. Okay, well, 2.
What did
One
it
for
have?
me
Did
and one
it have
for
like
you.
the big scoop mouth and a humpback? What did it look like?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find one. Did I sell it?
I mean,
I don't know. I got mine
You
down
should have let me
there.
use that to catch
Is
trout
it,
on.
is it the Norries Ebby?
I don't know.
Noise Ebby. Did you just
Yeah.
make a name? Up?
Evie. I did.
Hey,
No,
hey,
Norries
Ebby.
is the company that made it, man. Travis and I had I had a lot of ideas for making wacky videos, man. We tried a couple of things. Remember that
You still do. You're
squid
very
you-
successful at it.
that squid you bought? We tried.
Yeah,
You
we were in
flipped
the
that
wrong
around, Doc.
place, dude. We were on the
We
Chesapeake.
truly were. I know. We need to be down there, Scooter, because there was some shrimp eating fish down there.
Oh, his fish would eat shrimp. You
Yeah.
Oh,
should
they
see
do eat
those
shrimp.
Yeah,
baits.
Yeah,
So I
they'll
was
eat
on
crab,
some
shrimp.
Japanese Instagram ad popped up, and it showed like this squid on a drop was just fluttering around, and I bought a bunch off of Instagram one night.
Not
Yeah.
one. I bought a bunch.
Yeah,
We were trying
mean,
to make
just-
a wacky
just-
video.
Just in case it works. You know, we got them. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good
Yeah.
theory. Can't buy. You got to at least buy 2 of them. I've got boxes of stuff I don't use anymore, so and still can't bring myself to get rid of it.
It's growing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it ain't quite like what's behind your head. I don't know what's wrong with you. It's just I don't know who you are.
Just
It's
filling the
crazy.
empty hole in my heart for not being able to fish while I was growing businesses for years.
I just feel the empty hole in my wallet. That's all I've done.
Yeah, right.
Just dump it
That's
right
true.
out.
That's true. That's
Well,
true. That's true. That's true. Good questions, Travis. Good interview, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Hell of
feel
an
like-
interview.
I feel like the jury's going to be out here in a minute.
Scooter didn't know he was getting the 10th degree
I
tonight.
did not. Did you get your law degree while I missed you?
I was just-
Oh, God, he's all clean and shaven over there, and now he's got questions.
That's right. That's right. That's
This is a
right.
whole different show.
That's right. How many
Just
likes
went-
and shares do we have, Travis? Because You got to like.
We have to pick a winner.
You got it right. You got to like the video in order to be in the drawing.
I
everybody
did
that's
have
still here, the 229. You got to like it. Push the button. What's that?
I know for sure. Eggplant Assets will not be winning this evening, nor will
Okay.
Perch Jerker or whatever his name is.
Why?
They're one of the two.
I saw one of the comments. I get that.
What was it? What happened?
Well,
I'm not going there.
Okay.
I didn't read but one. It was right up front too. It's funny. You guys got some pizzazz.
I missed it.
Well, you're better off for it.
Okay, good.
All right,
Just
we do
like
have
the rubbing of the leg thing. I don't want to know about. You just don't.
Perch Pegger.
we do have to pick a random winner. So whoever pops up on the screen in the comments is the winner. Just kidding.
John is the winner.
I was going to say,
Big
hello.
JP.
No.
Congratulations.
Eggplant Assets.
He's got issues. Don't worry about him.
Eggplant Assets. Comes Rangers made by Nitro. I can't win.
I mean, I was.
Oh, you got JP. It's true. Johnny Morris.
We got the winner.
Who is it? Anthony. Rumor has it Sally it's reach. Yeah.
Who is that? Anthony.
All right, Anthony's winner. I think he logged out earlier, so we'll see if he watches this or not.
He knows that I use a little Sally Hansen to spice up lures like that because that's Sally Hansen.
Nice.
Nail polish, Scooter. Nail polish.
Oh, yes, my man. He's door-to-door nail polish salesman on his off time. Yeah,
that's right.
Crazy man. I'm like,
that's right.
That's right. You doing with all these nail polishes?
That's right. But
y'all should see his toes when he takes his socks off.
Yeah, right. You like when I hack up a few baits.
Chartreuse and lime looks good on Friday night.
It does. You can't tell. What's that new nail polish color you got, Eric? You wouldn't know.
No.
Just go with it, bro.
All right. What is your biggest pet peeve fishing with Eric?
Great question. Oh, I think I know it. It's not during the tournament. It's probably in the mornings.
Yeah, but that continues on through the tournament.
Yeah.
And while we're sitting and waiting patiently.
I
don't know. I mean, I'm just a daggone ball of nerves, so I can't really base it off of what Eric's doing because Eric's
he doesn't do anything in particular often that kind of irritates
let me show you how it started. Here you go.
I can't stand the packing.
Listen, here's how it started our morning. Hold on.
30 minutes to blast off.
I mean,
hold on.
Scooter is taking a nap.
He was trying to take a nap.
I couldn't take a nap.
The tournament started
because he won't quit fidgeting. No, but I have I mean, he's got some. I mean, we all do.
So can you tell us one? I'm asking for just one.
You already know, Travis.
Which part? That he's slow to get ready?
He does that on purpose.
Extra thorough. I know he does that on purpose.
It's an FU concept.
Yes, and then he'll look in his little sack to make sure his fucking ham rolls are like perfectly rolled up in his individual fucking bag.
I mean, it's like if you try to speed him up a little bit,
the vitamin pack.
I mean, without saying a word, he can just give you an FU. Yeah, very slowly, meticulous.
That's right.
Extra long time to get something out of somewhere.
You should see every little thing he has. He's got his little tackle box. He has his day driving bag. He has his hotel bag.
But there are times when I put it in drive.
This one's wet napped in here.
On the boat. So you know, but you know, it's fun and games because I laugh at it. I know what he's doing. He knows he's going to get repercussions to this movement that he's doing, and I know that I will pay for it later somewhere else. So it's a.
And we're about to blast off. A Scooter goes, man, I just touched my glasses. I can't see now. I can't see. And I'm like, dude,
I did.
I got the lens wipe for you right in my pocket. I was
the man needs a Zeiss lens wipe sponsorship. He's got
it. It worked, dude. They keep you can see driving down the lake without that big thumbprint you just put on it. Literally, we went through the live wheel check-in line. The buoy where he could take off is ready to go. I got my ski mask ready to go. Man, I just touched my. I can't see. And I'm like, dude, settle down. I got you, brother. Right here. Reached in my pocket. Boom.
It does, but it does. You do got to admit, though, Travis, through all the things that go on today, it does. You do get a lot of laughs. I mean, I do laugh sometimes.
Sure.
It's like a ridiculous amount of laughing.
It is, man. We have fun getting our ass kicked, and we have fun getting some trophies.
It doesn't bother me. It bothers me, but it doesn't like it's not a life-changing thing. I like to do good. The problem is I like to win, and I'm not fishing for points. You know, it's like we're swinging for the fence every time we go.
People get mad when you're mad because you took 6th place. I'm mad. Guys like JP are posting all over Instagram and Facebook. Look at my 6th place finish, guys. I don't want to talk to nobody after a 6th place finish.
You ain't even weighing in for 6th place. You're dumping your fish.
Well, I have. I would have. You saved
last year. Last year, Scooter, we fished Kerr March.
Same
tournament. It's cold, same tournament, and we are literally cranked our asses off in the wind. And we caught him. It was cold all day. And I mean, we worked for our 5-fish limit. And he's driving up there.
Measly 5-fish limit. But
you really want to weigh these fish? And I said, you're damn right I do. I said, because you never know. And he said, well, go ahead. He's all pissed off. He just wants to dump the fish and get in his truck and go.
Go home.
Walk down the hill.
I'm ready to go home. It's been 2 days of butt whipping. I'm ready to go home.
3rd place and 2nd place option pot, like $1,300. I'm like, hell yeah, we got our $1,300. I'll take it. Especially when I paid the entry fee. Goddamn it, I'm getting my money.
That's right. I'm getting my half for putting you on them.
You damn right. Hell yeah. Yeah. Make no bones about it. The boat goes where Scooter goes. It ain't where I'm saying.
Well, but I would have thrown them puppies back and I'd have gone home. I wouldn't even have thought it was going to get paid. That's what I mean. That's why I said I didn't think 17 pounds, 1697. Excuse me, would have won. So I mean,
you never know, man. You
honestly, you really don't. It's like when you think you're not going to win, you win, and when you think you got it, somebody beats your butt. So,
dude, there's been tournaments on the Potomac, 22, 23 pounds, and somebody comes over 26, and you're like, what just happened?
You just got beat. Yeah.
Oh, you got your ass kicked. Like, oh my God, you thought you were doing something.
Yeah, I mean,
never
but
know.
It's
never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what keeps you back, keeps you going.
Yeah, never know. Never know. That's
I like it. I don't care if I win or get beat. I do like it, but I do like to win.
Me too.
I do try. I fish as hard as I possibly can. I know I was sore.
Me too, bro.
I could have slept all day today. 7 straight days,
bro. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yep.
All right, good show tonight. Scooter, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good interview, Travis. Way to go, man, with the questions, man. You were firing off, bro. Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. I'll never catch another fish again now on Kerr, so that's all taken care of. I can move on to another lake.
Exactly. But you got to want to stand up in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Very.
Before we go, we should answer one question everyone's dying to know.
What's that? You want to tell the story, or I'll tell the story, Scooter?
No, you can tell that.
Well, you tell it. I want to hear how you remember it.
Well, of course, everybody knows I got on the Albemarle Sound in the Roanoke River for largemouth too, and it was July during the middle of an extreme heat wave, 115-degree heat index that week.
Yep.
And I had this guy call, want to know if I guide for bass. And I said, well, I do. I said,
Because he looked like a saltwater guy to me based on his ad.
I said,
I'm thinking I'm hiring a saltwater
yeah,
guy.
I didn't really promote the bass fishing.
No, you didn't.
Really hard because I'm a tournament fisherman and there's a lot more to catch in my area and I don't have to go show. You know, now I enjoy taking people bass fishing down here. I don't even hardly fish any tournaments down east anymore. But he called and I said, yeah, but you know, and I'm kind of weird about my gear, even though at the time it wasn't like, I had a Triton bass boat and it was in the shop. I had some work being done to it. And I had a Key West, a 20-foot Key West with a T-top that I did my saltwater fishing off of, or my striper fishing or whatever else. And I said, but you might not want to hire me because we're going to have, if I take you, we're going to have to go on the center console T-top, which it doesn't matter what kind of boat you got to go catch a fish. It's just, when you're a guide and somebody's, you haven't met this guy and they're expecting a bass fishing guide. They expect a bass fishing kind of outfit, no matter if it's old or new or what. It doesn't really matter. You can take a John boat and catch a bass or a canoe. But I had this, and I was feeling a little bit different about fishing on my saltwater ride out there because it's got a hand control trolling motor where you got your rope around your neck.
Yeah.
Don't
tell me Eric agreed and you fucking took him out on a saltwater boat bass fishing.
He did.
Dude, I was desperate because I had driven down to North Carolina to be my tournament partner, Brian Briesmeister. First time going on the Chowan River with him. It's Thursday night. I've already booked into a hotel. Brian calls me that night and says, I can't make it tomorrow. IBM's got me working on this big proposal. I'm like, man, I'm stuck here. I didn't want to drive 6 hours to go get my bass boat and come back, drive 6. I just wasn't going to do it. And I'm like,
start making random phone calls.
I'm like, can I find somebody to take me fishing tomorrow? I don't care what I was going to catch. I just want to go fishing. I didn't know anybody in North Carolina at the time.
Yeah.
Like I knew nobody down there. Nobody. I'm in the middle of nowhere in this small little town. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So he said yes. I'm like, I don't care what kind of boat you got. You go in a canoe. Let's go.
He was genuine. I mean, I knew he wasn't much of a fisherman. All his baits were too shiny.
Right.
Them things were way too new. I was like, he ain't never caught no fish.
Yeah, that's right.
But he got he asked me what to bring. And I said, well, bring whatever you want. I said, I'm gonna bring a couple rods, and I told him what I was gonna bring.
Chowan River.
We were on the Chowan.
Chowan River.
Did you catch any?
Well, put it this way, I had 3 rods on the boat. One was a Rico, one was a Bangalore, and one was a green pumpkin trick worm.
You had a watermelon red bag too.
Yeah,
2 bags.
1 bag. I had a bag of worms and 2 hard baits and 3 rods total.
Yep.
And I didn't use but 2 rods all day.
That's it.
And he jumps in with a tackle shop full of stuff.
That's right.
And it was the day that I found my buzzbait again.
Yeah.
He asked me somewhere around the 3rd fish if I ever threw a buzzbait. I said, well, I used to, but I quit throwing them because I can't find the one I really like. So I
had one tied on.
And he said, what one did you like? And I told him, I said, I like that chatterbuzz. And he busts out laughing. And his partner at the time, Brian, owns Bass Alarm. And I looked at him, I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And he's like, no. And he told me the story. And immediately, this guy had me, I just met him, had me a handful of my favorite buzzbaits, that I like to use.
He couldn't believe it. He didn't think it was the same one. But I
thought it was crazy. Yeah, I thought this was the craziest story I'd ever heard. I'm like, you asked me if I ever throw a buzzbait. I tell you what I like, and then you tell me, well, it's not called that no more, but it's this. And I'm like, I found it. Couldn't believe this guy showed up with this bait and knew the guy that owned it. So we went on fishing, and I was running the trolling motor with one hand, and we were catching the fool out of them. I don't know. We had 27 pounds maybe that day.
Wow.
The last fish I caught on a drop shot was how big?
It was 7 or 8 pounds. Yeah.
So that's when he knew I was throwing a fairy one, which he couldn't believe. He didn't say nothing at the time.
I laughed at it. I'm like, that fish would have hit 40-pound braid in a shoe, but he threw the drop shot. That's just my thought. That's how I think about it. I'm like, if he's up there, he's there to feed, so there's no other reason to throw anything other than something to catch him. Now, if you want to play with him, play with him with horsehair, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I learned my lessons. I used to throw it up there and get broke off. So I'd rather not get the bite than break him off. And I'm a little heavy-handed, so
you are.
When I set the hook on a spinning rod, you don't hear no drag.
Nah.
It's straight to backbone.
That's nice.
And maybe payow. So
good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. What do you think, Eric?
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, man. Wrap it
up.
I've
enjoyed it, man. Thank y'all. Appreciate you letting me come on. Good to see you again.
Yeah. How do people get in touch with you, Scooter, if they want to book a trip? And Travis, maybe you can cwwinshortcharters.com, right? Or find you on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Captain Scooter Lily, or Facebook, CWW Inshore Charters. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Or get in contact with you. Or maybe I can send my crowd to Travis. Travis send your crowd to me, and then we'll just swap clients back and forth. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Variety.
Yeah, literally the salt and fresh rockfish to trout, flounder.
Man, my guys love to catch. A lot of my crowd likes to go try to catch smallmouth. So, yeah. I mean, anybody that's catching fish like Travis is going after. I mean, it's a treat to go up and fish for those fish, especially for somebody that's. So I take what I got in my backyard for granted because it's right here in my backyard, and I'm sure in a way you may not understand what you're sitting there offering either. I mean, for me, I would love to be in your shoes for a week up there fishing on your bodies of water and seeing what you see and experiencing a new experience on a body of water that's got these huge brown fish.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them. I've watched the videos. It's amazing to see what you guys catch. Yeah. It's pretty awesome to be able to guide for. Very lucky. We're very lucky to be able to do what we like. And then take other people out and show them that. So, hope you have a great year.
Yep. Yeah,
Eric, I reckon I'll see you soon.
That's right,
you
man.
Do that? Base wants to catch a fly fish for reds.
Yeah, you've had people fly fish for them, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah,
but
I thought you did.
But I would be up for it if somebody was willing, because I mean it's really the luck of that particular day. Like if you were to get a real windy day, it would be tough to do the fly fishing.
You just get downwind of them. I've bonefish, by the way. Well, I'm telling you right now, that's how they do it.
Well, I mean, you're not bone fishing in 20 foot of water either.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got you.
If you're trying to catch,
they use a sinking tippet, but they do a back cast.
Right. We're gonna have to throw a rock on the end of that thing.
I got you.
I'm just saying when the bull reds, if he's talking about bull reds, they're out. They're not up there and on a calm, flat, slick day. Your opportunities would probably be, but you don't never know what you're going to get if you book a trip, and you have to book those trips so far out. Who knows what the weather's going to be when we go? But if you were to book and take a chance, I mean, there's a good chance I could put you
talk about these bull reds.
Big red. Mm-hmm.
Where do they live when it's not August, September, early October?
They live off the coast of North Carolina in the ocean. They live in big schools out in the ocean.
It like not deep water, I
think like during the wintertime. I mean, I'm not like a red fishologist or anything when but I know in the winter they go out and they winter in the ocean, and I've heard not too far off the beaches they'll get out there in the deeper water and hang out, and then on as the water warms up a little bit, like right now, they'll start coming around, and they're out there in these huge schools. I don't know if you've seen the aerial photos of these big rascals and these, like just say a football field size of redfish if you fell in them, you could stand up because you're not going to go through them. They're so thick, you know, just big schools. And then what they'll do is they'll come into the inner banks here, which is what we call it on the inside in this in our fishery here on the Pamlico Sound and the Neuse River, Bay River, and the Pamlico Sound. There's 3 inlets that they can possibly, I think it's 3 or 4 inlets they come in. But they kind of, when they come in, they're still in a school, but the school's kind of bust up. I mean, the most I think I've ever seen in one school, and I usually see one big school a year, is maybe 1,000 to 1,500 fish.
Wow.
It's sort of hard to judge it. But so if you were lucky enough to be on the boat when one of those fresh schools came in August, I mean, it's just a
Isn't it weird? I don't know nothing about them either, but a fish that lives out in the ocean wanting to come shallow during the hottest times of the summer.
Yep, that's spawn, man.
That's what they're doing. They're spawning.
They come in and spawn. Yeah.
Okay.
They come in into our estuaries here and they spawn. And then
And
you know,
do they make a bed like a bass, or are they more like a walleye where they're just in the current? Or
that's a good question, because last year I was doing a lot, you know, with the new electronics we got now. I mean, I always assumed they were kind of like the free spawning type fish where they, you know, even the river stripers, you know, they get around the female and they do their thing, you know, in the current, you know. But I was kind of figuring that's maybe what it was, and I'm sure that there's some literature on it to explain it a lot better how they do. I've just never read it. But last year I saw a lot of what looked like oversized beds on the side of some of these points in about 8 to 10 foot of water. Like you would see a whole blob of them, like a bunch of brim had gone up there. You know what I mean? It
That's
looked just
crazy.
like something you'd see on a lake in a little pocket with the brim beds up on the side. And I saw that in several places. And where I saw this is where I caught fish over and over again. Like it was, so I don't know if there was like it didn't look like structure. It looked more like indentions. It looked more like a bed. It looked like a fish had made a bed. But, you know, the sunlight, I mean, as deep as it was and the water's not all that clear at times.
Sure.
I don't, you know, so I don't, it's
I
not like you know, I'm basing it off a largemouth, you know, how they, and smallmouth, they have to have that clear water for sunlight to warm the eggs and stuff. But I saw it last year. I took pictures of it. And I was with another guy that bass fishes a lot and wins a lot of money here. And he was fishing with me. And we were both like, well, what is that? And it looked like tire inner tubes, just a whole bunch of them down there in sections. And you get to another point and find them. So
How about
I
that,
don't
man?
CCRR has a good point. It could have been a portal, not a bed.
Yes.
damn, I wished I'd swam down.
Yes.
Not necessarily, you know.
I mean, maybe I'm not from here. Maybe I did.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah. But I'm seeing a lot of other stuff now. I'm working with my electronics a lot more than I ever used to do. You know, it used to be, so if you caught one in an area, I would always mark it. And then the next year I would change every time I catch a fish. Well, not every time. Most time when I catch a fish, I would mark him. As soon as the guy hooks up, I'll mark him, because you don't catch that many. I mean, you're not out there but for a handful of bites a day.
Yeah.
And so I would mark it, and the next year I would change my little icon to something else, and I'd go fish all these areas, and I would mark it. And very, very, very often I was within, I mean, a boat length of the mark from the year before or the year 3 years ago. It was, so I've been doing that for about 6 or 7 years now. And I've got like this weird pattern of marks where I've caught all these fish all over the place in these different locations. And it's almost like you're in the boat now this coming year, and you're lining up for a drift or trolling your trolling motor out in the middle, you know, a couple 100 yards off the bank sometimes. And you're thinking to yourself, we're getting ready to catch one, because I'm coming up on last year or 3 year ago mark. And sure enough,
Boom.
gone, you know.
How about
And
that?
so it's just strange that, you know, and there's nothing you can really see that would change your mind about why that spot is any different than anything else out there. But because I have thrown, man, I've scoured this place with lures trying to catch them, and it's weird how you catch them in the same little spot. So there's something to it. You know, I don't know if it's where they come in to spawn or if it's where they feed. It's kind of like bass fishing, to be honest with you. And it's not easy. I mean, it's not when you're going after them with artificials, it's not easy. I mean, you can set up and catch them with cut bait. I mean, I'm not saying that's a guarantee either, but it's a easier trick.
Are you gonna have a better chance to catch them with live bait?
I'm sure somebody's catching them on live bait. I've caught a handful while fishing for other fish on live bait. But I have seems like the cut bait works better with the smell. Those fish are kind of they got really good senses, and they can
So
find
how many pounds is a good fish?
50. He's a 55 pounder. I mean, the state record's 90. So
Holy shit.
yeah.
So
Wow.
and
Everybody wants to. So like the people that come from all over talking about a world-class fish, it's a 50-incher. So if you get you a 50-incher, and I'm, you know, not every fish is designed the same, but
well, what's a 50-incher weigh?
Yeah, 45 to 55, depending on his build. But I mean, but the 50-inch length is the thing, and some of these fish are 30+ years old.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they're old fish.
Dang.
Yeah, and the young ones you can tell.
Could you catch, like, I don't know nothing about them. Could you catch a 50-pounder every day for like 3 weeks straight during prime time? Like, is it common?
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's your biggest one,
unartificial.
Shooter?
So 40. I caught one that was 60, it was 67 inches long.
Holy moly! What do you estimate that fish weighed? 70
I
pounds?
don't know. He was a stud. I've got a picture of him with a good buddy of mine. He caught one, and
So the only redfish that I remember, like Bassmaster had like some sort of tournament,
Oh yeah, he did.
but those guys weren't catching the ones you're talking about. They weren't catching 50.
well, it's the same fish. They're just not as old. They're in that teenager type, that teenager level of life.
Where's the best redfish at, like, is it the Gulf or is it your area?
I would say from what I've heard from all my, the guys that fish, all over the place and all over the world chasing fish. Sounds like Louisiana.
Oh wow.
As far as numbers, would be in that area. But I'm pretty sure our area would rank right up at the very top as far as the largest.
And then you have some waters where you can catch largemouth and redfish at the same time accidentally.
Yes, I did an article with a writer for the Angler magazine. Me and Powell actually, probably been 10 or 12 years ago, jumped on the boat, and he wondered how many species of fish we could catch in one day from one boat ramp. And we quickly went and caught like a largemouth, like a brim. I mean, kind of foul hooked the gar, but we caught him. Yeah. Then we
kind of.
Yeah. I mean, then we caught stripers. We caught a spot. We caught
cool.
croakers. We caught speckled sea trout. We caught red drum. I don't even know. Flounder.
That's wild.
Pinfish. Now, some of it is not like your target big game stuff, but we were, we were just we put in at one ramp and we went and got our largemouth and everything. And I mean, literally, we were like nowhere from where we put in, and we wound up, I mean, probably 15, 16 miles from the ramp before it was over with, to catch that. I think it was 13. I think we boated 12 or 13 different species that day, from
Wow.
one boat ramp, fresh and salt. So yeah.
Travis, in tournaments with Scooter, I've caught back-to-back 3-pound flounders on flipping.
Mhm.
Flipped. I caught a flounder on a topwater with Scooter. I caught a puppy drum on a river rat golden shiner spinner.
I don't know what a puppy
And
drum is. So.
That's a
It's
red
a
drum. It's
red
a little
drum.
red drum.
It's the
little red
it's
drum.
puppy ones. They call them pups
It's a
when they're
redfish.
when they're I don't know, say 10, 12, 13 inches long. They're puppies.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. And then
then
the ones they have the tournaments for are 18 to 20,
The
27
slots.
inches.
Yeah, the
slot.
slot. The slot fish.
And then
And then
over
the
that,
next
you
cast,
can't
the
keep
next
them.
cast, I caught a 3.5 with Scooter in a tournament.
Mhm.
Puppy drum to a largemouth in the literally same 20-yard area.
Mhm.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Blue
It can
crabs
be like
walking
that.
off with your worm. It's nuts.
It's not always like that, but it can be. The
No.
last 2 years was bad. I mean, we got hit with a big salt wedge last year from no rain. And I think it's unfortunately, I'm not a biologist or a marine fishery guy, but it looks like to me that some of the largemouth took a hit.
With the hurricane.
Well, I don't even know. Yeah, I just think it was just large
salt block
influx of salt
overall.
water that came in from no rains, all summer long, and then that tropical storm pushed that salt water right in for the kill, so to speak. So I think there's some fish, unless they just are going to miraculously show up all of a sudden, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yep.
But I'm afraid it's going to hurt my largemouth guiding on this end a little bit, but I mean, it'll take it a couple years. It'll get back.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's
So
still
the MLF Big Five is the MLF not Big Five. It's the MLF, the big one.
Yeah,
is coming to the Chowan River, Travis.
Yeah,
that's where Scooter and I met. It's coming to Enid Bay this June. And Scooter, you took was it the guy with the GPS signal to see where they could get a signal for camera boats?
I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Didn't you take a guy out, the MLF guy, for just to see what the fishery was all about?
Mm-mm.
The scout guy? I thought you did.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, no. I guess I shouldn't have been saying that. Maybe you didn't. Oh, that was the other Scooter that I know. That's right.
Yeah, it was that other dude.
That's right.
Oh,
I want to make a point. Can I make a quick point?
Please do.
Okay. Next weekend is the Classic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had a show next week, Monday, which I'm still not up in the air if we are or not.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
But I don't know.
Okay.
We would probably talk about the Bassmaster Classic, right? A little bit.
Sure.
Did we not once today mention anything about the MLF, whatever the Red Crest?
Red Crest.
Did we?
Dustin,
No.
Dustin.
And nobody in the comments mentioned anything.
Because nobody watched that series?
Cares.
Because they don't care about like fish after fish after fish catch?
I don't know. I didn't watch any of it.
All right, let's hear from Dustin Connell won $300,000.
Never heard of the guy. He just started.
All right.
Honestly.
Hey, how many of the 188 people tuned in to watch Red Crest? If you did, did you enjoy it?
I don't know who
and
they
if
are.
you didn't, why don't you? Okay, Bo Judd, why don't you care? MJ says Red Breast or Dead Crest.
I see that.
Why do you guys not care? I want to Anthony. Hell no, he's a river rat. Why don't you guys care to watch the MLF and Red Crest? Spaceman didn't even know it was on. All right, Patrick, why'd you watch it? Kyle said he knew Dustin Connell was going to win. I watched total about a half hour. Wave currents and ice. Why'd you turn it off? What, Lee? Why'd you lose interest?
I don't know.
Gene says fanboying over professional terms is kind of lame. Okay, that's cool. So Slumpy Grumpy says I like DC. He tuned in for maybe 10 minutes. Little Sunday, but he was up by 30 pounds. The format stinks. Okay, there you go. JP didn't watch it. All right. Ant was working, but he looked up the score tracker. The broadcast is lackluster. Okay, I got you. Don't like the format, Lee. Got it. Jeremy says red what? Red Crest.
There you go.
He doesn't care about somebody being 40 pounds up. Yep. Yup. They were live. For
Are you
sure.
going? Are you going to the Classic this year?
I won't be.
Travis?
No.
You won't be.
No.
I know you've been there in the past. I didn't know.
A 30-pound lead on the final day with a nail biter. It sounds like the format is not interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, it was interesting to the guy that won it.
He says, Wave says, especially since
Right.
Marty Stone is gone, just Chad and JT is enough to keep his attention. Interesting, man. Very interesting. All right, guys.
There you go.
Very cool, man. Anthony says, I'm too busy trying to figure out my LiveScope. I ain't got time for that. Interesting, man. Well, there you go, Travis. Good point, bro.
All right, guys.
Man, you're on it tonight.
Boyd with another great decision,
I like
going
it.
back to every fish counts. Lamo. Yeah. Bass. 40-year history. I hear you. Format.
You're not
hates it.
scoping, you're hoping.
Yep. Patrick with
Yep.
the scoping comment. Yep. MJ, you're right. Bassmaster cutting to Ronnie Moore is getting annoying a little
I
bit.
like the
think.
hoping. The hoping keeps me going.
That's right. Me too. That's what I'm all about.
Yep. I hope he's over here. I hope he's over there.
Jeez.
Sometimes I need a break from scoping zero fish in Messina and watch MLF.
I need to. I kept telling you guys I want to do that LiveScope video, but I've just been like,
Why do you want to do it?
that's what.
It's a-
That's my point. Like, what's the point?
It's so overdone. It's
Yeah.
just it's charred in the pan at this point. There's
Should have
more
done that 5
fat
years
to
ago.
do. No, he's not talking about leading on. He didn't want to do it 5 years ago because he knew he had something that was a huge advantage to him, and so he wasn't going to talk about it. And I was fine with that. Keep it
I
on your
believe
hat,
I
man.
am. I'm
Why do you think I bought it? I wanted to get you to the fucking classic.
You did.
I mean, man,
I've said this 100 times.
I'm a classic nut job.
If I did
Well,
not have LiveScope, I would not fish deep ever again. No desire.
Without it, you talking about without it?
If I didn't have it, I wouldn't even go.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Like
It wouldn't
throwing
be
out
fun.
there in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Carolina rigging deep, man, because you never know when that bite's coming, man.
I reckon that was a lot of
hope
hoping though for those guys that used to find them. I mean, my partners that I've had in the past, some of them were the best. It probably in the
Deep fishing.
Yes, at finding deep fish. And
This is fascinating to me. So one of the guys he's talking about, he fished against, so we fished against on Sunday. His boat broke down. Denny Gilbert, and he won what 5 out of 6 last year. He was talking about
in August. Yeah,
right. So he was talking about Chris Bullock, who Chris Bullock signed a crankbait of mine.
You got Chris Bullock, Bobby Williams, and you know, you're talking about Gerald Beck and
right.
David Fritz,
David Wright,
Wright, and Jeff Coble,
Spence Bunsen.
You know, all those guys. They could
with a flasher.
They were wizards with electronics before we had electronics, like flashers and the papergraphs
so Travis, you'll find this interesting. Denny said Chris Bullock fished for suspended fish off the break with only a flasher and would catch their ass back in the day. And I don't think anybody was doing it.
I believe that for sure.
That's a lot of hoping those guys were doing.
But he was winning.
They were
not just hoping.
Yeah,
He's fucking winning. How
many
tournaments did Chris Bullock win on a crankbait deep?
All I can tell you is you can't tell what color his house at the lake is because the trophies are covering up the walls.
I mean, look, he was getting that bait down. That's one of his favorite color plug on Kerr. And he wasn't throwing that in 2 foot of water.
No, I know.
And it wasn't hitting the bottom in 25.
No, he would do that out the front, and I would throw a big worm out the back right at it. Wherever he threw, I would throw about 8 foot off to the left so it wouldn't mess him up. That's what I did.
And that's what I try to do with Scooter.
I didn't ask. I didn't look.
Mm-hmm.
I could take you back to the spot, but I couldn't tell you which way to cast.
Yep.
Yep. But now, so the guys that actually that were the old school, finding with the flashers, and they enjoyed fishing out off the bank.
Yep.
And were really good at triangulating spots. I mean, because there wasn't no GPS. They
Right.
triangulated everything with a house, a tree, or a rock, and they did it. And they did it like that. Like as soon as they found the stump, they looked up, did this, and this, and they got it. And I mean, I've seen Chris. They pull up to too many spots out in the middle of nowhere and make too many right casts immediately to catch fish back then. I mean, you really had to be snapping up top to get it done. But what I'm trying to say now is they take the LiveScope, and there's a handful of them, and I think Denny with Chris and Denny, because Chris guides and Denny guides, but Denny's still tournament fishing. Now he's looking at these places that he found 30, 40 years ago, and he's able to apply the more finesse style, catch them when they're suspended, because as a deep fisherman, you really only caught the fish when they were pulled up to feed on so what they would do is they would suspend or sit down below the point, and then when they were ready to feed, they'd pull up to like the stump. You just have to imagine it as a table, like it's their dinner table. They didn't always sit there, but when they sat there, that's when they caught them. Other parts that's why certain times of the day they would go there and check that place 4 or 5 times a day, and eventually they would pull up to the table, and that's where you could catch him was at the table. Well, now you can catch him in the whole damn house. He's fair game no matter where he swims with his LiveScope. So some of those guys that have adapted to it have gotten really good at it on these lakes, and they're still winning. They're able to, I reckon, teach an old dog a new trick, so to speak. Which I never really cared for fishing off the bank, even though I won a bunch of tournaments with Chris, and it just never. I love cranking out, but once after I get about 10 foot, I don't care what's out there. Pretty much.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Did you catch the fish on the big worm behind Chris occasionally?
Oh yeah, that's what the good ones. Sometimes the bigger ones will come on it. I didn't catch many, but
I mean, hey man, just like that.
We were throwing the old Huey worm. Yeah, throwing the old Huey.
Oh, the old Huey, the baby Huey. The baby Huey. My God, dude! What color do you know?
Sucker was that long, huh?
Had 10 inches. You know what color it was?
They ain't but 2 colors. I told you earlier.
Yeah.
Green pumpkin and June bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you need. One for clear water and one for muddy water.
Which you can't even tell the difference anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Right. You just need to be
what color is that?
One, huh?
What color is that?
I mean, that is nail polish.
What color is
disaster? That is a train wreck of a color.
What color is it?
I don't know.
Damn, you don't know June bug.
Disco night. I don't know.
You don't know June bug, man. Damn.
I couldn't tell you what
you only had 2 color worms, so you knew it was
if it said it on the package. If it said it on the package, that's what
you could read June bug. I
can read. I can't tell you the color. Yeah. So if the color code was a 7R95, then I was in trouble.
The weird part is, bro, you've never seen a real June bug colored bait. You just read the letters.
Well, you read. I mean, I know it's darker. I know it's a different shade, and I know it's a darker
but
color.
You've never seen it, man. That's sad.
No, it's perfect.
Could you tell the difference between a black worm and a black and blue fleck worm?
I mean, yeah, you can see the fleck in it. You can see the shine.
Right.
Yeah.
But who says it's not chartreuse and black fleck?
No, it ain't. I'm not that bad. I'm only like so like black and blue socks. I get confused, which almost anybody might.
Sure.
Browns, oranges, and reds. I get confused.
And you're a hunter too. How do you know if you have like cattail camel versus, hardwood camo on, man?
I don't.
Come on.
This is the camo you go with.
All right.
That covers you everywhere.
See, I don't know what colors you can see.
1978 pattern.
It's weird though. He knows when he's picking up a shad pattern versus a crawl pattern. Even if there's no markings on it, he can delineate the shad versus the crawl. I've watched him select his crankbait.
Yeah, I see all shades. I mean, I got
what's sad though? Like, let's say your favorite crankbait
I'm just not seeing chartreuse
Okay.
the way you see
How do you
chartreuse.
pick out your favorite crankbait? You have to really look at the marks and the scratches to know if that's the one.
Oh, if it's the one that looks like sandpaper's on it, I'm throwing it.
All right, all right.
Yeah. I don't throw no new ones. I don't like new baits.
Right.
I don't like shiny baits.
More rash, the better.
Yeah.
And that
It's
dude
just-
fishes, man. I mean, that dude fishes 7 days a week.
Get your 100 grit and paper out and wreck that new bait.
Like
Yeah.
Randy Blackhead says to do. You don't like that. Don't even say nothing about Randy doing that.
Mm.
That'll get
No, I don't
Travis
know what you're
going
talking
hard.
about.
Exactly.
I just like it beat up, man. It seems like the more beat up it is, the more they bite it.
That's because it builds confidence, which creates energy, which
Yes.
creates expectations, which create
Yeah.
actions, which create success.
There
Right.
you go.
That's why if you like a shiny bait, it's going to catch you more than a beat up bait because it creates confidence, which creates energy, which creates action, which creates success.
There you
There
go.
you
We all know this to be true. Fish your jam, man, and believe. You got to
It's
believe.
what you believe in, what you feel good about,
That's a damn for sure.
and putting the bait in the right spot.
Even better. In the
Yeah.
right depth, speed, and cadence, baby.
He's sitting there for one reason, and that's to eat.
Yes.
That's
And
pretty
All
good.
right, we should
If you ain't, I'll horsehair him into it.
let's get Scooter back inside. You know what I mean? Looking like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I got to go hook the big boat up. We got a
Yeah,
trip.
you got a
in the
guy
morning.
trip in the morning. Well, thanks
Oh,
for hanging out
geez.
so long, Scooter.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have you for 30 minutes. You hung for the whole duration. Travis with the questions like a good reporter. Travis, you stepped up tonight, man. Good
Well,
job.
thank you.
Been
All right.
good. Been fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good to see
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, man.
Been
Good
missing
to have you
out.
back on. That's right.
Yeah. Been missing out. Well, thanks for having me.
All right,
Y'all have a
guys.
good one.
Cheers.
Bye,
Until
everybody.
next time, we'll see you guys on the water.
Peace, everybody. Thank you, guys.